How's it going? Welcome, everyone.
Good
It's been a
evening.
month. It's been a month since we've killed any celebrities or.
Offended any celebrities?
Well, I don't know about that because, well, we'll get into that a little bit later. But
To be fair, he started it, so
Kickstart happened. So Kickstart happened.
it did.
Kickstart happened. I wasn't. I'm so annoyed. I wasn't able to go.
It was an absolutely amazing show. Kudos to everybody that, genuinely one of the best shows I've ever been to.
I forgot to invite Ravi tonight. Shit. Sorry, Ravi. If I usually ping him a link on WhatsApp or something, but I forgot tonight. But yes, tell us about the show, guys. Tell us about the show. How did it go? What did you guys get up to?
Well, we did quite well because Stephen managed to organise a visit to the Northwest Computer Museum on the way down. So we left Glasgow, which took a bit longer than we thought, thanks to the traffic. There was an awful lot of sitting on the M74.
So everybody going to Kickstart, right?
Exactly. I mean, thousands and thousands of people leaving to go to that. But yeah, we finally got clear. We got down there, and I have to say that a big shout out to the Northwest Computer Museum. It's absolutely amazing place. Would recommend it to anybody with a passing interest in computers. Even the guy that runs it, Joe, couldn't be more friendly. He basically stayed open so that we could bimble in and have a wander around and look at it, which was absolutely amazing of him. And then he provided food as well. So yeah, that was a cracking start to the weekend.
And I understand that most of the weekend was dedicated to the control of Johnny.
There is an element of that, yeah. He's, I don't know, it's maybe something to do with being a respectable Highland GP. He has to sort of come south, visit us, and it's absolutely mental. He's I don't know. Stephen shared a room with him. He can probably tell you more.
There's certain things that can't be. We're pre-watershed here.
We'll wait until after 9 o'clock for that.
Yeah, and there's obviously the risk of him losing his job if.
It's just water in the bottle, honestly. Anyway. So
the Northwest Computer Museum, what a place. So I've been following the progress of the museum since its inception a couple of years back, and it's a guy called Joe that's sort of at the forefront of it, and so passionate about old tech. There's absolutely everything. I've done a walk around video of the venue. I'll share the link in the comments at the end. It is absolutely amazing. Just there's everything that you can think of is there.
It's literally, if something is there and not turned on, just go and ask them, and they'll fire it up for you, so you can have a play. Which is brilliant. Things that you've maybe seen and thought, yeah, I'd quite like a shot of that. It's there. He's got it. He'll let you have a shot. It's brilliant.
Like what did you see that was unusual?
I mean, he had
a functioning Apple Lisa.
Yes.
Okay, that's unusual. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, there's the more common stuff as well. Like he had some what they called Amigas. He had some Amigas sitting there as well.
Well, we don't know anything about that.
An Amiga 500. I think that's quite rare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
But no, I mean, they had the other thing they had running was I'll try to find a video of it and put a link in. But they had a Commodore PET running a demo. A Commodore PET. Just a Bogo PET. I mean, I thought they'd done something, but no, this was a basic standard 1977 PET running a demo, and it's incredible. It's absolutely amazing.
I love that. That's kind of right up my street. That
was really cool. They've got a replica of a original Apple as well. The nice wooden case and everything, but he did take pains to point out it's a replica. It's not a real one because, frankly, he couldn't afford the insurance to have a real one on the premises.
No. I mean, even if he did, he wouldn't be able to display it, right?
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, so they've got all the computers in one room. They've got a learning suite, which is basically set up like a proper old school classroom with all the BBCs, which is brilliant.
Oh, that would probably give me the gibblies, like looking at that sort of stuff.
Time travel, I know.
Yeah.
Mini arcade. They only had 3 machines in there at the moment, but again, it's a thing where I think it's growing. But I mean, he was telling Stephen that basically the machines on display are about a third of what they actually have.
Yeah.
There's stuff on all the tables that the machines are on. Basically, under them is rammed with other machines that they just don't have room to even put out. So,
I mean, when I was down at Neil's, one of the things Neil was like, I could tell he was on high alert for was monitors popping.
yeah.
The things just always breaking. It must be. I mean, even my collection stuff's breaking all the time. You're forever fixing stuff.
Well, they had one. I mean, if Stephen posts his link to the video, you'll hear it. But they had one television at one corner of the room, and the volume pot's knackered, so it does absolutely nothing, and then it just randomly blares out really loud chip music, and it just goes off again. But just when you're talking,
that.
It's like, oh, all right, stopped
Cool.
again. Right, we can keep talking.
What machine was wired to it? What was the machine was wired to it?
Was that an Amstrad or some description? I think down there. Honestly, there was so many machines that I'm actually struggling to say. But yeah, what's happening here? Look at that. There you go.
So this is just
an Amstrad
this is
of
the walk
Tourette's,
around video.
basically.
I'll obviously share the link to this video just to give you a kind of idea of some of the stuff that's.
So this is the Northwest Computer Museum, yeah.
It is, yep.
Where is that? Where is it? What town is it?
Yep.
It's in a place called Lee, which is quite near Manchester, but it's only about 10 minutes off the M6. So genuinely, if you're travelling south and you want to kill, I mean, they serve food, so you could go there, you could have a good wander around, get your lunch, and then continue your journey. It's brilliant.
And that's the Lisa right there, is it?
There you go. Well, Lisa right there, but he's going to pan down in a minute, hopefully, and show you the app.
The Lisa was on the.
It's to the left of us at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's his replica.
To be honest, yeah, good enough, isn't it? Really,
it's pretty cool.
I think
I'm not an Apple man, but
nor me, but at least not that era of Apple. But I, appreciate it anyway.
Yep. As he pans round, you'll see the pet in a minute as well. I think the demo had finished at this point, so it's just saying end on screen. But yeah, I'll need to find out what that was and get a link because it's something to behold. There it is. Yep, the demo has completed.
Well, no, that I like that. I like that. The pet is came to fame from War Games, didn't it?
It did. Yep.
Yeah.
Was it War Games?
It was in War Games. Yeah.
It was.
I'm pretty. I mean, correct me if you've got better information, but I'm pretty sure it was a pet. It's just got that look about it.
It does.
Oh man, look at and see that ZX81. He's got the right kind of telly for it as well, a black and white.
They honestly, he says that's one of the things is trying to find tellies that match the machines.
Yeah,
which they don't always manage. But honestly, they basically said they'll take any CRTs. Chap in the chat, Brett. Yep, you're right. Kirk had one. It was a gift from Commodore for his VIC-20 promotion.
The Dragon. I never had. A Beebs and Electron. I've had. So it's 128.
Yep.
Commodore 128. +3 now. +3's right up my street.
You're looking for a red telly. That's the one that goes mental. There it is. What's connected to that? Is that? Oh no, it's not. Is that? What was that there?
Is that
a TI?
Oh man, there's some Sun machines there by the looks of it.
Honestly, it's
I don't know what that's a pile of shite. That computer right there.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Risk PC. Yeah, a couple of these MSXs.
They are, yep. There's a good collection of them.
Sex machines.
Man sex, yep.
Yeah.
Poor spec.
Was that an Acorn system? No, that wasn't an Acorn. I thought that was an Acorn system.
They do have some interesting links though. They had one of the chaps that developed Armin to open it when it reopened again.
Was that Steve Ferber or
yes?
Wilson?
I think it was Steve Ferber. Yep.
Yeah. Nice. Just nice. I mean,
it's someplace It's genuinely.
Oh, a G5 MacBook. G5 Mac. The big things that
The
you
beautiful
could actually,
cases. That was when they made
Yeah.
cases where it was designed. Yeah, service it yourself. I will.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You could actually use it to put. You could actually put wheels on it and use it as a chassis, a proper chassis of a car.
For a car, yeah, totally. We're known as well, depending on the era of computers. Obviously, your home keys are F and J these days, but it was moving to now which way was it going? Was it D and K? I think on some of the keyboards. It was weird. But it seemed to be certain eras had that change.
Right. Oh, those bubble MacBooks. Was that a Next?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, was that an IBM? I think that's an IBM. Sorry.
Is it?
Yeah,
Still, that
Aptiva.
is an impressive collection. That's some space as well. That's
They're planning to move to bigger premises, actually. So, as I say, this is like a third of what they've got, and they want to get more out on the tables.
that's a pile of shite. That thing, getting rid of that.
Now look at that. I know it's just taking up space.
Yeah. And that thing. Oh, and that, don't even get me started on that.
I've heard Chucky likes them, so.
Oh, Chucky's a total ST fan. Total ST fan. He asked me to put a logo in the 4000. Excellent. Oh, that is.
Yeah, as I say, if you're ever travelling down that way, 10 minutes off the M6, well worth it.
We're gonna get demonetized for the prawn, you know.
Kicked off YouTube.
That is filthy. That is
Sirius there as well.
Oh, are these PC clones or CPM machines or?
I believe these are actual IBMs at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember seeing a Sam
clones
Coupe
towards
actually.
the end, but the first few are.
See those mini tower cases. I've got a hankering to get an old like a BH6 or Pentium 2 era machine and just put a Voodoo in it and play Quake on Windows 95 or probably Windows 98 because I don't want to deal with the crashing. But oh my God.
You see your Kim 1 in there as well.
Oh, is there a Kim 1? Where was that?
There's a Kim 1 on the top shelf, just back a bit.
There's something about the Kim 1 board layout that just...
Flash, there it was.
Oh, I got hiccups. Oh, this is definitely... You know, I might stop in on my way down, because I'm going down to Neil's on the... for a talk on the 30th of July, and I'm giving the talk. In fact, I'm sort of starting to prepare what I'm going to talk about over there.
Cool.
But in fact, over my other shoulder is your mediator, by the way, Graham.
Oh, good, thank you. Yes, I need to come and get that.
But that sounds like an easy stop off on the way, doesn't it?
It is, and as I say, they'll do food, so you'll get your lunch as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, not bad.
They've also got. Did you go right round to the library as well, Stephen? At this point, I've not watched this all the way through. Oh, shame.
Yeah, I went round the whole place. Went everywhere.
Because they've got a library, so while you're sitting there snacking, you can go through like magazines from the past. We were laughing at the prices of some of the stuff. It was brilliant.
Good job you reminded me. I've got nearly every Your Sinclair ever, and I've promised to bring that down for Neil as well. So I'll have to throw that in the car.
You taking numpty?
No, not this time. I'm not taking
Going for the comfort.
I'm going to take the comfort this time. But if any of you guys are, I'm going to try and retrofit a cruise control to numpty because I'm taking numpty to France in September.
All right.
Now, I can see why you would question me taking the Range Rover down to Bristol and taking numpty to France. But numpty getting bashed in France, I don't care about.
That's a point. Yeah. The parking technique of just ramming your way into spaces is quite
something
common.
Something happens to numpty, I will be like, it's like an old horse, you know. Had it, but numpty's my car for people watching who don't know. But It's my number plate. It says Numpty on it. I'm not going to give you my actual number plate, but it does say Numpty. You guys have seen Numpty, and you can confirm
We've seen
that.
Numpty.
Yeah.
Yeah, we left them. So we left the museum. We continued. We were probably about an hour and a half from the hotel at that point, Stephen.
Yeah.
And then we hit these mad roadworks that no one had really expected to happen. So they weren't
So
on
is
Google
that
Maps.
The M6 South. Between
Yeah, so you turn off the M6 and you start cutting across country to get to Nottingham, because it's actually nearer the M1 at this point. So we started doing that.
See, what you should have done is watch Auto Shenanigans and find out where all the motorway roadworks and all the cuttings are all hidden.
I do watch Auto Shenanigans, but we weren't quite on motorway at that point. It was kind of just A road, and then it just suddenly closed. So we followed the diversion for a while, and Google kept trying to take us back to the closed road. So eventually we gave up and just followed the diversion signs.
You know what it was trying to do? It was trying to take you to Jim Bowen's house.
It could well have been. It could well have been. But yeah, so eventually we ended up travelling, I think, 50 miles at about 40 miles an hour. And in the end, when we got to the end of the diversion, we realised we were only 5 miles further towards the hotel. So that was really quite irritating. So we finally got to the hotel about 1 a.m. I think we all just collapsed into bed. And then it was next morning in time for setting up, wasn't it, for Kickstart? So
yeah, it was
manic.
A pretty busy weekend, but thoroughly enjoyed it. There was no real drama either.
No, especially given the potential for it, given
the
crap that was going on. But yeah,
I suppose we're going to have to talk about that because,
man,
yeah, I'm not going to mention anybody's name,
cool.
But there was a bit of drama that was coming. There was potential. We were all a bit tense about it. I happen to know that the person who was making a fuss about it was offered to. They could come along as a guest, no problems. They weren't excluded. They just had been making enough of a fuss about Ravi and been insulting Ravi that he wasn't going to give them a free place to advertise their wares. And I honestly would have done exactly the same. I think. You know, Ravi's, I think it was supposedly an association between Ravi and David Pleasance that was being made there. But I happen to know categorically that Ravi thinks that thing is a bad idea. So, yeah, I think it was just, I honestly feel like at this point it was attention seeking, that whole thing.
It didn't play well. I don't think it played out the way they intended it to play out because... I don't know. Maybe some people have sided with them, but the more I looked into it, the more it just looked like online bullying. To be honest,
That's
frankly,
what it was,
I'm not interested in that. And I mean, the website, the other website in question, frankly, I'd never want to visit that again in my life. Deranged, I think, is the word I would use.
I realised a very brief part of the one.
My goodness. He needs help.
And it was absolute nonsense, genuinely. I mean, we had to turn it off after a couple of minutes. It was just...
You're trying to get both sides of the argument, but when one side's, frankly, no, thank you. I'll pass. It's all right. Life's too short.
The argument is simple as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't really matter. So it's Ravi's party. He's organised it. He's paid out the, apart from anything, he's organised it. He's paid out of his own pocket to get all this stuff done. And if you've got manners, you'll be able to turn up and present your stuff. And if you haven't, it's the same. All you got to do is have manners. And I think
that's exactly it. But I mean, I think there's a confusion here between free speech and freedom from consequences. Actions have consequences. You can say what you like, but the actions will have consequences. And consequences. Sorry, mate.
I mean, I've been in that position before where people are like screaming at me about wanting to get me to do stuff for them and on boards, and it's like, well, yeah, but I'm not. If you guys all know, I'll do anything for anybody, but if somebody starts insulting me, and I don't mean in a joking way, like properly, like going for the jugular and not being nasty about it, don't expect me to pay. Well, don't expect me to put my own money towards helping you out. You know, it's like, yeah, you're spot on about the consequences thing. So I think Ravi did the right thing.
Well, I
And
mean,
also,
whatever
the other
happened,
thing is there was a potential for that situation to ruin it for everybody else.
exactly. And it didn't. I mean, it was barely. I think we had one brief conversation with someone at the event about what had happened, but it didn't even feature. It was a non thing. It was just really nice.
But there was nothing but positive vibes the entire weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent a fair bit of time in the user hall with other user groups. We spent a fair bit of time in the trade hall with all the traders and all the other guys, and every single person I spoke to, and the feedback I got from everyone, that it was an amazing event, positive.
Yeah, same. I had loads of people pinging me messages, sending me photos. I've got Johnny from about 3 different angles doing breakdancing. You know?
Yeah, he made quite the impression at the after party, I have to say.
He did.
Yeah. The lad in the kilt. Oh dear.
Oh, Johnny. We need to do a follow-up to Ouija Nights with some new characters and some new moves.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking, it's obviously I don't want to be like people are to me, telling people what to do with the. Oh, here's Ollie. Let him in. But I was thinking, how about doing a version of Ouija Nights in a hotel? You know, where there's serious parting, like it's Kickstart.
And there needs to be an altercation with a vending machine and some.
Oh yes. Which someone accidentally records and sends to a WhatsApp group chat. Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
I don't think I saw the altercation with vending machine.
Did you not hear it?
It was just a voice clip.
I posted the voice clip. Yeah, Johnny had sent a message to the group and then accidentally held down the record button whilst having a fight with the vending machine. Was basically hammered.
I was trying to buy a Twix, I think. Johnny was putting his card up, and I'm like, Johnny, no.
Was he trying to buy a wafer thin whiskey again?
To be honest,
he had a few wafer thin whiskies.
The event finished. We got Johnny out of the event. We had to stop him walking into 3 kebab shops whilst trying to find a taxi. We eventually got him into the taxi, even though he was adamant he wanted to run home because it would be quicker. I'm like, Johnny, your track record for running home is not good, mate. We're not letting you do this. There's a river here. This could go wrong. Very wrong.
Yep. Also, by the way, just for the record, there are wild Learys in Nottingham. So
we never encountered any, I have to say. But
yeah.
But no, we did eventually find the taxi, and the guy said, "Where do you want to go?" We told him, and he did the thing of, "You got money?" And I had a £50 note, which he was just like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, he's not happy. So Stephen said, "I've got 2 10s for 20." He's like, "Oh, that would do." And we said, "How much will it be to get to the hotel?" And he's like, 20. I'm like, "Aye, all right." Let's see how this works.
It's probably simpler than I think all these sounds not working. It's probably a lot simpler. Just keeping to pay the money to keep Johnny under control. Isn't it?
Well, that was it. We got him back to the hotel, but then he just confused Stephen's Twix buying escapades in the lobby. Really, at that point, but
I never actually got a Twix in the end.
Did you not? You just had to go back to the room and listen to Johnny destroying the toilet.
That's it. That's it. To the point where I actually had to send him down to reception to get another toilet roll because he used all the toilet roll.
To be fair, right, he did something really nice, Johnny, right? He brought a really nice bottle of whiskey with him. It was a 16-year-old limited edition. Was it Glenlivet? I can't remember. But, I mean, it's a really nice whiskey.
It looked like something like that.
Yeah, so 46% proof, you know, proper nice bottle. And he's like, "Who wants some?" And I'm like, "Well, I need to drive back up the roads. I mean, I'm going to drink at the after party, but then I have to drive home later on the Sunday. So no, I'm not having beer and whiskey. You're fine." Nobody else was really interested either because nobody wanted to get too off their face. So I think he pretty much we worked out.
Even Rob.
Even Rob stuck to beer. I know, whoop. But it means that basically, from what we can work out, Johnny had half a bottle of whiskey to himself, plus all the beers we had on the night.
He had a lot of whiskey. In fact, I have a photograph of what was left.
Yeah, well, he couldn't. Thing is, he couldn't find a hip flask, right? But he did have one of those, those metal water bottles you get with a plastic screw-on lid that you use for when you're walking. Exactly, one of them. So he just basically filled that, took that with him. Why not? Just.
I can hear him. I can hear him getting more. I know. I can understand. I know the Johnny way of getting more and more incoherent as the night gets on.
Yeah, there was one point where he said something to me and laughed. I said, "What?" And he just laughed again. I was just like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's all we had left.
So Johnny drank the entire I mean, that's half a bottle gone.
Nah, it's about a third. The neck's narrower. Come on. It's not the business. It's not the business end.
Yeah. That's what's that? 46%.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a.
Was that his hospital tag?
No, that's my arm. Johnny was currently in the toilet at this point.
Just behind that door there.
Yeah, just he was in there. If you hold your phone up to your nose, you can probably still smell it.
Poor Johnny.
Lovely. He's not here to defend himself. It's the best time to attack him.
No, I did tell him. What's he doing this evening? Did he say? I haven't seen him on.
No, he's been very quiet. Was he not on holiday? I think he was off this week, wasn't he? So he might be away.
Might be what's going on.
You'll catch up with us tomorrow and be angry with us all.
I mean, Arek's on holiday and he's still joining. He's in Poland.
I know. He looks like he's sitting outside. Look, you enjoying hot weather there, sir?
And a cigar.
And a cigar.
Yeah. It's classy.
Pretty nice here. Nice evening.
It's warm enough here, but it's pissing with rain.
Yes, yes, it really is. Scotland at its best. But yeah, so besides Johnny doing things like that, the actual event itself, as I say, we arrived kind of late-ish in the morning, dumped all the kit, and then we drove the car back to the hotel because we knew there was a bar. So you don't want to be having to drive after that. So.
And you all went in your discovery.
Yeah. We got 4 up and all the kit in the disco and went down in that, so that was fine. What's this now? Oh yeah, it's Rob at the hotel. Man.
It needs no introduction, that photograph.
He's never going to forgive us.
Neil put it at the end of his video, at the very end.
It's in the credits.
Credits, yeah.
For anybody that's watched RMC's video of the event, if they look at the very last scene of the end credits, you can see that photograph just in the background. It's like a subliminal message.
I'd seen it, but is that you, Stephen, who sent it to me?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not. Maybe
yeah, I think I did.
That went in the chat pretty quick on.
It was also posted on Neil's Discord. We're bad.
I'm going to go grab a beer.
You're bad as well. So yeah, we basically parked up. We walked all the way back to the hotel, stopping by a place that did breakfast because we thought, we need food. It's been a long drive. Turned out we'd found the slowest fast food place in Nottingham at a bridge. It took them the best part of 40 minutes to make 3 bacon rolls, an egg roll, and a toastie. So by the time we got there, the doors had opened. So we pretty much had to sprint upstairs and try and set up our table as people were walking past, which was fun. But we got it done. And then, to be honest, it was just, as Stephen said, it was just brilliant. People were coming up, happy to chat, asking questions, talking about things. You were going around the room looking at other things. Everyone was just happy to talk to you. There was questions, but it was all just incredibly friendly. It was a brilliant time. Yeah, I can't think of much more to emphasise how much fun we had. Really, to be honest.
Excellent. Yeah. We can do it all again in a few months' time.
Yes, well,
maybe not to the level of Kickstart, but yeah.
Yeah, obviously your celebrity guests at Kickstart as well as Stephen was hunting them down, getting things signed.
I was. So I went.
So we've got to get this. This is we're half an hour in. We've now got to get the story. Can we have Bell End Gate? Can we have the
Bell End Gate?
Great, thank you. My daughter has just gave me a pineapple Haribo.
Well,
Ask me about pineapples later.
I
Tell me about Bellengate.
So,
but I'll let you go for it, Stephen.
So before Kickstart, I thought, right, I want to meet John Hare. Right, John Hare, for me, is like a legend in computing game history. Right, the man is just an absolute legend. And when I found out that he was going to be at Kickstart, that sold it to me. That alone, that was that I was going to go regardless. So I mean, I was like a wee groupie. Genuinely, I sat right down the front, lapping up every single word they said. In fact, in Neil's video, it pans round at the after party, and there's me right down the front with my phone filming John singing the Cannon Fodder intro song. Anyway, I had my copies of Cannon Fodder and Cannon Fodder 2, and I took them down, so he very kindly signed that one, and he signed the inside of that one for me. So I was obviously a bit preoccupied with that I missed Mike Daly's chat. He was on before John here. So I comes back through. Now, bearing in mind, I knew Mike Daly was going to go. I've never met Mike Daly. I've never saw a photograph of Mike Daly. I just know that Mike Daly was instrumental in Lemmings. And I knew that he was going to be there. I thought, I'll take my copy of Lemmings, one of probably about 5 million of these made.
I mean, no disrespect to John Hare, but Mike Daly's way more famous than John Hare.
Yeah, I know, right? So anyway, and he's Scottish, and I feel bad. So I came through from the traders hall through to the user groups hall, and Graham and Johnny and all the guys are all standing round. And I think somebody said, where have you been? No, I've been through meeting John Hare, going on about John Hare, idol, here's my copies of Cannon Fodder. And I said, I missed Mike Daly. And then I seem to recall somebody saying, Mike Daly's a bell end, right? And I can't remember who it was that said it. Right?
It was Mike Daly himself.
It was Mike himself, right? So anyway,
confirmed it.
I just heard someone say Mike Daly is a bell end, and then Graham said, "I'm like, is he?" And Graham went, "Yeah, Mike Daly's a bell end," and I'm like, "All right, well, probably never missed much then." And then they all started laughing, and Graham pointed at Mike Daly and went, "That's Mike Daly," and I just wanted the ground to swallow me up, And I kind of sheepishly went over to him and said, would you sign my copy of Lemmings? And he said, of course, absolutely no problem at all. I'll sign your copy of Lemmings. And he signed it, you Bellend. Yeah.
Okay, so, that's Bellengate.
That's Bellengate. Yeah.
That's it.
I had a horrible thing in my head. You see, that I was the first one to call him a bellend. I was really worried that had been the case,
because he was actually the one.
So is Mike Daly Scottish then?
He is, yeah, Dundee.
Right. Okay. So he's going to
still lives there. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I get now. Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, it's standard Scottish procedure if somebody mentions you and doesn't know you're there to call yourself a bellend to them.
Yeah.
On Neil's, there was the one that Dave's on, the weekly retro kind of.
This Week in Retro.
Yes, This Week in Retro.
In fact, a wild Dave is here. I couldn't have timed that better.
We're just talking about you.
Hey, Dave.
All good stuff then, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're
It just said Dave. Dave from the weekly This Week in Retro. Oh wait, a wild Dave appears.
There he is. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Yeah.
No, we just talked about Mike Dalygate.
I did hear that. I was in the kitchen, so I had it on listening.
So we've just been talking about that, and I'd said that on your podcast on Neil on the this week in retro, it made it sound like we genuinely thought he was a bell end. Like
The way it was described, it was just like the Scottish
like
Amiga group had
the
decided
Scottish
to have a
Amiga
go at
group
Mike Daly.
called him- I think
Oh dear.
the word that was used was they called him a
Mama,
twat or something
Jak
like
się
that.
włącza tą lampkę tu na zewnątrz?
Oh,
Oh, there's a rug.
Oh, hello.
I thought you
Is
meant
this
my
not-
dog.
No, no.
Oh, it's Ollie's. Malone.
Ollie's dog.
What's that? Sorry.
I mute myself for a shovel food into my face.
Oh, hello, Fiona.
Stephen says hi.
If she knew she was live on YouTube there, she'd be really upset.
She does, actually. She does.
So, what was the word? Twat? So somebody mentioned twat. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I think it was. They didn't realise the word bell end had been used on this week in retro. The word twat had been mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Dave, I think you corrected it. If I remember,
I may have
maybe you
done.
didn't use that word, but you know.
I think Mike actually posted in the This Week in Retro part of the Discord his recollection of events. Now he was sober, so he's probably the best person
Yep.
in terms of.
We'd had a few. We were drinking pints. There was a bar literally like
Just like
10 feet from our table, and Scotsman 10 feet from a bar is always going to end up in.
See when we did that. So I don't. Who was there? You were at the. Graham, you were at the one at the Crookston Bowling Club.
Yes.
And Alec was there, and Stephen, were you there? No, you weren't there.
No.
No.
I get roped into helping at some Stuart and show. If anybody
So-
from Stuart and show's watching,
Did he do that? Did he?
I've got nothing to say to you. Yeah. So we're at this. It's a bowling club. It's got a bar. Like you're describing, and unfortunately, Johnny came back and bought me a pint. Fortunately, and I said, "Well, I'll go get you the next one." As you know, as things happen between people buying each other a drink, I'll get the next round. I got Johnny the next round. He came back the next round with aftershocks. At 3 p.m. Eric, you were there. You can back me up on this one, right?
Yeah.
No, I was his lift. I was the responsible adult that evening. It was awful.
oh, were you sober?
Yeah, man. I was had to drive back to Fife afterwards from
With
Glasgow.
Johnny.
So. With Johnny, he was my passenger. So Stephen was doing his best to convince him to get absolutely sozzled and then stay over. Johnny was trying to resist, mostly doing okay. But by the time the event finished and we went to the restaurant for food, Johnny complained that he was already had a hangover. So literally his early start resulted in an early finish and early consequences.
No, he really did go full on hammer and tongs.
Yeah,
So
what
you're
was it? What
talking
did he
the-
call it? It was something they had behind the bar that he remembered from his student days. So he just decided he was going to give it a shot.
It was some. It tasted like aftershock to me. It was like, it tasted like aniseed, and I was like, Johnny, you shitting me? This is not. We're not even at 4 o'clock yet. You're not supposed to go into top gear until later on in the evening.
Brilliant.
No, you're supposed to. I mean, I'm happy enough to session like a pint an hour sort of thing through the day on an event like that. But man alive, no, don't hit the spirits until you want to die.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
I didn't.
There
Even,
we go.
I don't think I didn't get home until on that event. I didn't get home until well after midnight because I was out with Rob and John McDermott. The Crookston Hotel, by the way, is a surprisingly lively place to go for drinks afterwards. But unbelievable. Rob was, happy.
Happy.
Did Rob get? So did Rob get? Rob sounded like he was fairly sensible at Kickstarter.
He was, yeah, I would say he was. Yeah, there was no real drama. There was no real hangovers as such.
Call yourself Scotsman. I mean, come
I
on.
know. I mean, I stopped drinking at 9 on
Years old.
Saturday night.
Well, I mean, we're not
I
questioning
killed the
anything.
conversation.
We're not. We're not.
I'm disgusted, to be honest. I don't know what to do.
You were the same.
I was exactly the same. I know, 'cause I had to drive. I think I've been again.
Sorry, I was looking through for something to get the conversation going again.
A little bit uncomfortable.
I've just stuck the chat from Mike Daly into the WhatsApp. Don't know if you or Stephen, if either of the Stephens can present the screen. I can't on this machine, unfortunately. But there's the events of Belly and Gate straight from the horse's mouth.
Hang on.
Mike would absolutely love that, though. I mean, he would definitely want that to happen. He's got a sense of fun about it, and he's not up his own arse.
So
he was brand new. I mean, he came over and started talking to us at the table. He was asking about travel and how did we find driving down and how terrible it was and all this. You know, so it was great. He's a really nice guy to talk to as well.
I like it. He sounds like a rocket.
He really sounds. He'd probably be up for this.
Yep.
I did toy with pinging him to see if he fancied a banter on this, but yeah, we'll see.
The more the merrier. Yeah,
it was good. But no, the after party. You're right. I only had one beer as well, but I found some stout that was, what was it, winter spiced stout or something. It was like 12%. So that's my excuse. That killed the conversation again. Don't talk about drinks at the after party. It kills the conversation. It's the best thing not to do.
So I got a wee clip here for. I suppose this go off topic and actually talk about some retro stuff for a bit.
Let's do it.
Ollie knows what's coming, but I've been working on this week. I've just been working a little bit on the MSX side of things, and I think I'm ready to reveal this to the world. So that's
Nice.
Oh, that's the TFMSX with a JAMA adapter, and just slammed it. First time into the cabin, it needed a wee bit of tweaking and things, but that's it. An MSX 2 Plus in the cab. Oh shit! What happened there?
What?
Sorry.
Music come on in.
I hit something I shouldn't have done. Anyway, yeah.
That's
Brilliant.
really cool, man. Well done.
You like that, Dolly? You're.
Yeah, but I'm obviously biased.
So it's all of your favorite things all in one video, really.
And that's the case for
An
us.
MSX machine.
It's a case for an MSX machine, but it's the fact that we can now make cheap, and we've got Chucky. We've roped Chucky in. It's this is actually it's got out of control for him already because he sent that a video like this to Truck. It's a garbage truck. He's going to be doing. I don't know if you don't know who Truck is. He's like He's like demo scene Santa. He knows everybody in the demo scene. He'll go around and he'll grab you and say, "You two, you need to talk to each other. You know." So if you want a bit of news propagated, tell Truck. So Truck has got saw the video. It was a clip of Space Manbo working in the cab on the MSX. Truck just went fuck. So. Chucky's going to end up building TFMSXs now. He's going to become.
He's too far deep in that. You can't.
He's got so much free time; it'll keep him occupied.
Yeah. Yeah. He's So he's going to the assembly demo party. Oh, good, John. He's going to the assembly demo party in Finland. It's very close to the Russian border, I'm told, and. He's going to be.
So it's on the right side at the end of it.
People have been known. Apparently, John can correct me later if I'm wrong, but apparently they go to the border to urinate.
That's definitely not a party that you want a certain Highland GP to get drunk and try and run home from, is it? You'd never see him again.
He'd end up in St. Petersburg, wouldn't he?
Get conscripted. Who's that blue-haired guy coming toward? Oh no!
That might end the war, though, if we send Johnny in a kilt.
Yeah.
The TFMSX there's been some interesting things. This week we got the JAMA adapter working, and I'm going to send one to Ollie, and he can do a little thing on his channel about it, and mostly because there's probably more interest in that kind of thing on his channel than mine, but
you finished the cart as well.
I finished the cart as well, so we did something that we haven't. I think you were looking at doing it, and you were saying you were struggling, and I
tried to do it with standard TTL stuff.
Yeah,
using the Zemina mapper, which was essentially a bootleg of the Konami mapper, and I just couldn't get it to work. And then after I looked online, there's one guy that managed to get it to work, but everybody else who tried that.
I immediately looked at the schematics, and it kind of freaked me out. I was like, that'll never work because of X, Y, and Z. So straight away, I'm like, yeah, there's some typos definitely on the schematic, but
anyway,
so I just knocked up a cart pretty quickly. Well, actually, what I did was I kind of emulated the cart in the TFMSX initially, just to sort of proof of concept it, and then I built the cart. Let's see if I can share my screen. Actually, I mean, I know it's not really, it's a retro. It's a retro thing.
No, go for it.
So, what does TFMSX actually do?
It's a complete MSX computer.
Oh, right. So it's not an add-on for an MSX. No. It's a complete MSX.
Yeah.
And because, am I right in thinking that because the MSX was a kind of an open design, you can do a genuine, legitimate MSX rather than just some kind of emulation?
Yeah.
Correct, yeah. So this is what he has there. So there's like two car ports, but it's using a ZAT, an actual original VDP, and Yamaha sound chip. But Stevens has done all the glue logic to FPGA here, and Arik did the USB drivers. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty epic. And now it has a case.
So the case.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm.
So I don't know what your plan is, Stephen, but I'll release the case anyway for people on Thingiverse, for people to just download and print themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what my plans are for the. I think what I want to do is what I always do is take the temperature of who's going to build it.
Sure.
If the guys commit to buying lots of parts for it, I won't release the Gerbers until I don't leave them with loads of parts and not able to sell it. That's my only concern. I don't want to screw people over for them committing their own money to stuff and not having anything for it at the end of it.
But I think it's very much like the TF cards. I think the two can coexist. I mean, not everybody is familiar enough with SMD soldering and FPGA programming to do that themselves anyway. So
Not everyone, almost everyone, but not quite everyone.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to quit out as Chrome. I quit out of Chrome and come back to present my screen. Nah, it's not worth it. I won't bother.
Who lets you back in though? 'Cause you're the only admin, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, last time I was able to leave, and
Yeah, well, let's say controversy.
I mean,
Snooze, you lose.
yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say I wasn't a dick, but I think
To be fair,
Nobody wanted him to feel bad. Nobody wanted him to feel bad.
No, absolutely not. But at the same time, yeah, we did, and we didn't. It was like a.
It was a tongue-in-cheek thing.
It very much was. And Edwin.
There was absolutely no malice meant in it.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't malice. It was
amusement.
It was
Yes.
amusement,
A
comedy.
bit of harmless fun is what we thought.
I mean, it was a bit like you get drunk and you get a bit like your man who was on a stag night at the British Grand Prix and his mate stuck him in a Just Stop Oil t-shirt.
Yes.
Oh, that was brilliant. Yeah.
Threw all over him.
Yeah,
It didn't go well for him. I think he got lapped, didn't he? I think someone actually
I hope
lapped
not.
him.
Oh, that's a shame.
I bet they were from Glasgow.
We definitely do have a different attitude in Scotland to these things, though. I think we're definitely much less precious about things, maybe to a fault up here than everyone else is.
We don't take ourselves too seriously, and I think
No,
that's
not
a
at
good
all.
thing. That's a good thing.
A
Definitely.
nice bit of irreverence.
Yeah. So Edwin wasn't very happy. He said something to Dave, and like within 10 seconds of you sending me a message, I took the video down.
Yeah, and to be honest, Edwin had said something the night before, and me and anyone else who'd read it actually thought he was joking, thought he was having a bit of fun at his own expense, and then it turned out the next day he wasn't joking.
He called me a canut on Amiga Bill's stream, and I mean, the thing is though, if you call somebody that in Glasgow, you're laughing, right? It's
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to insult someone, that's not what you reach for. Not unless you really load the word with bile. But
yeah, I remember and it reminded me of the song from Jerry Cinnamon, and the line in it's Diamonds in the Mud, and it said the line in the song says, "And there's no other place where you cannot might not be a put down." It's like talking about Glasgow. So,
I think the whole of Australia seems to have picked that up from us as well. Again,
they can get precious though in Australia.
Can they?
They can. Yeah.
About some stuff, though. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the other stuff's just day-to-day language for them, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Like, I guess maybe I don't understand all of the cultural signals to know when people are offended and when they're not. In Australia, maybe that's what it is. But yeah.
that's one way to put it. Yeah.
Sorry to
Well-
swing wildly to another topic again, but just now that John's appeared. John, I picked up both magazines today, but I had a good read through your article. Nice one, man. That was really good. I enjoyed that.
Well, thanks, mate. You facilitated it.
Yeah, a couple of little connections, but no, you put that together. It was great.
It's fun.
I've not read it yet.
John, you'll appreciate that recent find I have.
Oh, no way. Oh, I love it. Nice one, Ollie.
That's 1/16 of a CSAT.
Yeah, this is true. Oh, I bought a little JIU 06, the little module.
Yeah,
Got to pick it up though. It got delivered to work and I'm on holiday.
they're really
It
good.
came-
People
it
give
came
out
out-
about those that format. I really like it.
Well, I think you've got them all, haven't you?
Oh no, I got 3. I got the GO6, the GX03, and the SCO2, which is like a mini Moog type of clone. But I'm looking for more. Whenever they come cheap, I get them.
I think I got a good deal on it. I think I paid $287 including postage, and that was for the module and the keyboard as well. So
that's very good. Yeah,
I thought it was pretty good.
I tried to get them if I can around $250. It's sort of my threshold price.
Yeah,
but that's pretty good too. Like anything under 300 for these with the keyboard, that's a very good price.
I thought that was decent.
Yeah,
looking forward to messing about with it. I don't know what's going to give me more than what I've already got behind me, kind of thing.
Sure.
A bit of fun.
Well,
we just killed the channel with a sense.
I want to contribute, but I have nothing to contribute in the way of music. I am completely oblivious. Oh, I watched a really good YouTube video recently on the Atari ST music production.
Oh, nice, yeah.
The video has got really popular, so I think loads of people might have seen it, but it's absolutely fantastic. Neil knew who the guy was. Apparently, he's done Amiga videos before. A lot of Amiga folk know him from that. But he did part 1 of a video on how the ST was important with all the music gear from the late 80s, and he went through it all and made a couple of songs and so on. Really good.
Nice.
I was the reason I got an Amiga back then is I was in Germany. It was back in '89. It was just when the wall fell, like literally a week before. It's a really cool time. But anyway, the family I was staying with, their neighbor had an Atari ST, so he brought me over because I'd never seen one or anything like that. So he showed me I think Xenon 2, and he had it rigged up the whole sound system. Like it just sounded amazing. So when I came back to France afterwards, for some reason in my head, I'd been told it was an Atari ST, but I was convinced it was an Amiga. So I was like, I got to get an Amiga. I got it. Should have been an Atari ST, really, but what I ended up with was an Amiga. And,
do you ever use an Atari ST yourself, Ollie?
I never did. No, never. Other than that time, and then whenever I used to go back to my dad on the holidays, and the kid next door had an Atari ST, so we'd play on that. But I just had the controller. Really, never really played on. Never used it really.
I guess for music now you use Windows.
I get fed up. I get frustrated. So I did all my early MIDI stuff on an Amiga. An SY20, 122 Yamaha synthesizer, and a Boss DR55 drum machine, a couple other bits and bobs. But getting MIDI working on an Amiga was actually really quite difficult. Not the MIDI itself was difficult; it was the software was crap. So you had Steinberg 24, which eventually I got a hold of. I think I was using something called ECS maybe at the time. Nothing that you could do was transportable. So you create something on Amiga's software, try and transport that to somebody else who had like an ST or whatever. No chance. Absolutely no chance. So eventually got an ST just for Cubase, so that I could actually share stuff with people.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good. The ST was a fantastic music production system, mainly because, like everything else, it's about the apps, it's software. So the ST was fantastic because it had Cubase. It stole a massive leap on Amiga on that. Amiga got better later on, but I'd moved on to Macintosh and stuff like that. PCs and stuff by the time that it got much better. Because Music X came along for the Amiga, which I only kind of got into.
I think the fact that sampling was so good and the sample quality, like for the time, was so good, there was no need to actually develop anything for, open standards like MIDI or anything like that. So I think that was the advantage of the Atari ST for that. It was just the fact that you could actually plug it in an actual studio if you wanted.
I guess you could have the Atari ST controlling the Amiga as a sampler, because the Amiga was, for what you paid and what you got with the Amiga was great for that with Paula.
Oh, that's a cruel setup, isn't it?
We're going to have to do that now. We're going to have to do that.
Yeah. Do it at your house, Stephen, in October.
Yeah, we'll do that here. We'll do it on top of the piano.
See, for anyone that comes into the video just on that last bit of chat, it's going to be diabolical.
What are they doing on the piano?
Just stop, Graham, with your.
Saying.
We'll have to.
We're going to have MIDI all over the place.
We'll have to shove. We'll have to make it's like an Atari. An Amiga is an Atari ST's bitch. Is that what we're saying?
I think that's what
I didn't say those words.
actually.
but-
That's
I
what
didn't
he's
say those words,
implying.
but I couldn't disagree.
Yeah.
Can you hear anything coming out of my mic other than my voice?
It's you.
Just your voice at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. No, I'm editing something, so good.
A cut by you with headphones on. Yeah, that's going to help, Dave. Make a big difference, that does.
Just instinct. Just instinct kicks in. That's what happens.
Well, you need a
You're
little
it.
bit.
Your cat seems quite keen to be in this video.
Yeah, this is Dot. She is. She's my pal. When she's not been a terrorist, she's my pal.
All right.
And she purrs and cuddles all the time.
I've got a
So
I've got
funny.
a kind of cat at a distance thing going on tonight. Just there.
Oh,
Just kind of close enough that she's there, but not close enough that you could touch her or in any way interact with her.
We've just offended Nivrik. He's bailed.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
I think we're calling an Amiga and Atari ST's bitch is the line.
I think he probably just joined just as you and John were talking about doing it on top of the piano. So
I think is it not essential for you, Stephen, to piss people off? Is that not how this works?
It's not really what I'm looking to do, but no,
just a happy side effect.
Yes,
No pressure,
exactly. What's that?
No pressure.
What, pissing people off? And I'm not pissing people. I'm not aiming to piss people off. I just want it to be frank and honest discussions and let people say what they want to say. But then not going as far as a certain.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. I mean, saying what they think, but not making it up just for the clicks and views, you know?
Actually.
well,
Nivrik,
Nivrik did.
Nivrik, you can join. You can join the. In fact, I'll just put the link in there. Anybody in the comments, sorry, anyone in the chat wants to join the video, feel free. You can join in. This is open mic format, and the more the merrier. The more the merrier. So,
Yep.
what are you working on, Ollie? What are you mixing at the moment? I think I know, but I'm letting you.
Oh, another Dead Mouse cover.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one actually.
I really did enjoy Wee Wee Wee.
That was really good.
Yes.
It starts off and you think it's just a piss take, and then by the end of it, you're like, yeah, I like this.
Oh, Fiona's been singing it all week. Like every time passing, she's like.
I tried to listen to it in the dining hall at the resort we were at, and I got shouted down by Fiona. So, yeah.
Yeah, some things are too tempting to let pass.
Yeah.
I think it was Neil saying my last wee was from the side of the road.
Yeah, I could tell that was your trigger. That was
Yeah, it's just-
yeah. Oh, I was like, well, he's not going to let that one go. Although Neil does say a lot of things. He does say a lot of
It's
things.
half on purpose, of course. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be.
Yeah. So,
I don't think
mean,
he ever wants to he never wants to get to say something on purpose, if you know what I mean, that could be deemed to be on purpose. It has to really be an accident. Unlike Mark Fixie's stuff is his videos are absolutely full of them.
Yeah, but see, I can't do anything with those. Like it's funny because it's intentionally unintentional, and that's
I mean, MSX machines, for example, there was no intention of that. I've said that at all. That was totally accidental.
Well, that's how it started. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Or the retro sandwich.
But Neil does sound like he's it's just his voice sounds like he's out of a Carry On film. He really does.
No, as much as I love other channels, to some of them, even though it's similar type of expressions, but they're obviously delivered with the intention to make people laugh or get a reaction. It doesn't have that same impact. You can't really use them for that kind of stuff.
Oh, Neil's a goldmine for that. I've watched some of your live streams when you were doing the editing of it, and people were there was much ruder things that were in some of his videos. That edited out, and you know, I was always pushing the Father Ted line of we want to stay away from the whole being in love with the horse. It's more like we're friends with the horse.
Yeah, I think it was for the Retro Sandwich. I was editing stuff, and there was actually much more explicit stuff I could have used, but then it's too explicit, and it's not. You just want to be on that
nice,
edge.
Yeah.
You don't want to be rude either, and
No, well, you could just do a whole other video that's rude, but basically. But if you're going for that gag that you get with the Retro Sandwich, the Retro Sandwich entirely inspired. I mean,
arse biscuits.
Well, the board on the TFMSX board has the Retro Sandwich. Not this one, actually, the other one.
Yeah, the one, and this slots under it, so you get a sandwich. So you get the JAMA connector, and you slot. They're like there's headers, they merge together, and then you get the JAMA. The whole thing bolts together like a sandwich, and you get the JAMA and the MSX for free.
Excuse me.
That's one of my better ideas when absolutely pissed with Ollie.
That's usually how we come up with stuff.
It's like he was like, hey, could we do some sort of JAMA adapter? And I'm like, look, give me that board. I mean, like, so this is the idea. This is the idea we came up with. So this is like the same shape as the same dimensions as the TFMSX, but it's had all of the components taken off it, the drill holes and everything, and a lot of the connectors are the same. And so then the video, the joysticks and everything, they all come through, and then it's fairly passive. It's just, but this can power the TFMSX from the JAMA connector as well. So.
Nice.
And also we had to sort of put something. I mean, the things we usually put some sort of subtle things on the silk screens.
Yeah, that's not subtle.
That's quite in your face, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did enjoy seeing the mention of Amiga kit on the 1230. Anyone can build these and sell them, apart from Amiga kit.
Yeah. The reason for that is, I mean, people have said to me, why do you not let Amiga kit sell it? And well, Amiga kit have.
It's your ball, and they're playing.
It's not that. So the Amiga kit have got a bit of controversy surrounding the trademarks of Amiga. And I just want to be a million miles away from that. I don't want these guys selling my boards. That's it. Yeah. And on the 1230, I did that design in a week. I gave it away. I've not even made one of those boards myself. Chucky made me one. Chucky made me one, sent it to me. It worked near enough first time. It did need a bit of tuning, but to make it work perfectly and to make it work with every kind of RAM chip. But then Amiga Store EU said to me, can we sell it? And I said, yeah. And they said, how much do you want per board? And I said, nothing. Just sell it as cheap as you possibly can. That's all I want. So make it as cheap as you possibly can. And they have, to be fair.
See, I'm not an Amiga person, really. I'm going to build one, and I like the Amiga, I like the Amiga community and so on. But for me, it's perfect. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. You stick that in a 1200, and you really there's no case for spending hundreds of pounds on a 1260. No offense to the people that have them; I've always got a need for them. But for me, it's
what do you mean? What do you mean?
I don't need to persuade you of that though. It's if you want a 1260, then you want a 1260. There's nothing wrong with that. But
yeah, I mean, it was basically the idea was like you could at the time you could spend 80 quid to get a 4 meg upgrade or an 8 meg upgrade, right? Am I right, guys? Roughly that.
About that,
yeah. And now nobody will buy those because for an extra 50 quid you get 64 or 128 meg of RAM and an 030. I mean,
but no
idea-
FPU.
no
Useless without
FPU.
FPU.
no,
Oh wait, no. There's a new. How's the new revision going? Eh?
I freely admit that I was very, very drunk.
Is it Ollie's fault again? You trying to blame him, are you?
No, it was Chucky's fault this time. I was
Oh, right,
very
okay.
drunk. I was drunk. It's always either Ollie or Chucky. It's one or the other.
Thank you.
No, I did that in the middle of. I designed that board in the middle of a rave, a revision, and I don't think I've ever heard music that loud. Like, like my noise cancelling.
Granddad.
My. I've never heard any music like that. Yeah, I was about 100 feet from the front of the stage, and I was still doing like moving like this. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I was pissed. It was the middle of a rave. Music was going doof 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 doof, and I made some mistakes. Some mistakes were made, so I have to correct them with a new version. So, which I will do. It's fine. Not the end of the world. It does boot, it does run, but it's just not the most stable.
The 536. Classic.
536. The 536 is, I think, one of my better boards. Nice wee.
I think that is definitely approaching classic status now already, isn't it? It's everywhere. It's ubiquitous.
It's the lowest common denominator for. That's always what I've aimed for, to become the lowest common denominator on the Amiga. Like, if somebody's not got an accelerator, it's because they want to keep it stock, and I respect that as well. But like these old these old cards that were really pretty poor and pretty expensive. Like, they were really expensive. Like, a basic O2O card for a 500 back in 2015 was, what, 160 quid, something like that?
If you could find one.
Yeah. So that was the aim, to make it. But unfortunately, as Arik will tell you, everything I touch seems to become expensive as well. CD32s used to be like 20 quid. They're more than that now.
A little, yeah, just a wee bit.
But Arik was saying that, and Ollie will tell you as well, like MSX VDPs have gone through the roof as well. Since I
suddenly want to buy them for some reason. I can't think why.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about that. You don't feel bad about it.
030 and 64 meg is now. Yeah, I would say that's now the low end of the scale.
You say that, but if you're looking to play Amiga games from 1985 to 1997, whatever it is, they kind of faded away, then it's perfect. I mean, there's almost no call for anything. It's almost, you'd have to find a real edge case to find a reason to go faster than that.
No, but I think that's a good thing, though. I'm saying that's good to make that in 2016 was upper end of the scale.
Yeah,
so
but
that's changed.
If you could make it 20 quid cheaper by doing something else, no, it wouldn't be worth it. You're just at the right point at which there's no. It's every penny you spend that is money well spent. If you know what I mean, you're not adding anything in that's not necessary. It's ideal.
Oh my god, the fights I've had with people about that though. that's where all my controversy has come from. People are saying you're not serious about Amiga unless you're looking to make like the top of the line. And the fights I've had are been about I'm keeping it as simple as possible. If I can do a Clive Sinclair type trick to make it cheaper for you, I will. I'm not going to add a chip on. If there's something that 1 in 5 people want, I'm not going to make 5 people pay for it for the one person to have it.
I don't really understand anyone that disagrees with, other than just someone being so myopic. You think, I want this, therefore, if you do it for everybody, I'd get it cheaper.
That is exactly it, Dave. It's those people. It's the ones who think, I want this, therefore that is what everyone wants. But it is not. It's that one person wants. Those were the ones that you would probably find Stephen have most of his fights with. Because at that point, they're usually telling him what to do rather than asking nicely as well, which doesn't, it's not the way to go about things.
Yeah. So there's also like personality issues with those types of people sometimes as well. Not that I have no personality issues myself. I'm just saying that. But yeah, it's a case of But I was paying for the development of it. It wasn't being subsidized by anybody else. So I'm doing it my way, and I think over time the resistance to it has come down. It's really been accepted as that might have been the right way to go. So. Nivrik says arse biscuits is a regular swear of mine.
Quite right.
I only have an 060 in my 1200 because it's an OG Blizzard card.
Yeah.
Selling my new house.
That would have been very, very expensive as an OG Blizzard card at the time.
Yeah.
They're expensive now, but that would have been stupidly expensive back in the day.
Yeah, I must have. Sorry.
Back in the day, you were actually using an 060 for doing stuff. So so that the productivity and stuff. You're not getting 060 in your A1200 back in the day to play games. You're using that for productivity because it would have been a faster machine than any PC in the market at that time. Yes, affordably. These days, going back to the point earlier on, you don't need it. I love my 1260 and my Terrible Fire and my 1200 just because I have it. I don't. I can watch all the demos because they'll work. It's great, but they're not needed at all. The majority of people just want to play games on Amiga, and
that's what the 1230s. Yeah,
workbench pretty quickly. Yeah, the 1230. I think.
Takes edges off.
Until I had Stephen's Terrible Fire, I had the Blizzard Mark IV 1230, 50 megahertz, perfect sweet spot for the Amiga. I think everyone worked on it. It was a bit slow, a bit slower than the Terrible Fire, but what am I using it for? I'm booting up Workbench. I'm finding my WHD load folder. I'm playing iGame, and 1260s makes all that a lot happier, a lot nicer, and a lot quicker. It's just nice to have an 060 on my machine because that was a panacea back in the day. And I got to review it for Amiga Addict as well, which was nice. But I think if you're just wanting to play the games and do it reasonably quickly and reasonably easily, with a compact flash card and things like that, then the 1230 is perfect. Why would you do anything else?
Yeah. And it's not even slumming it either. It's not even as if you can scrape by with it. No, it's plenty.
It is. Before Stephen did his thing with the 1230 and High Storm and stuff like that came along as well. Jens did the ACA card.
Yeah.
And it was probably the sweet spot at the time because it kind of worked.
Yeah, it looks fine. Well. I mean, it looks as to be just what you need, just enough to get you by, and a bit of headroom. But no, you're not spending a lot extra to get stuff you no justification for.
I just thought Jens was overcharging.
He definitely was overcharged.
Yeah,
that whole supply and demand thing until you came along and Firestorm came along and laterally and whatnot. He was taking advantage of the market, obviously, because
I saw one. I was bumping my gums this morning about. I'm uninformed in these things. It doesn't. I don't let that stop me. But I saw something on Twitter this morning. Let me just find it. Tell you where at. There we go. Yeah. No, that's not it. It was an upgrade, and it was. I've lost it now, but it was like it was a PyStorm Lite. PyStorm 32 Lite CM4 expansion breakout and a 32 gigabyte SD card bundle, 250 quid. I'm thinking, how does the word light get involved in that sentence? I mean, 250 quid.
Well, the actual PyStorm Lite takes a standard Pi 3B, so it's only 75 quid, that board, the PyStorm Lite board. So what someone's done there is they've built a breakout to change the Pi 3B connector into a CM4, the compute module board, which is much faster. So effectively what you've done is you've taken the PiStorm Lite and you've turned it back into a PiStorm 32, which was the heavy duty board that they stopped making because there was a chip shortage. So what you've kind of gone full circle there. You've taken the light budget one that was easier to get and cheaper for people, and you've made it more expensive again, which kind of defeats the purpose. It's that's an interesting thing to find for sale.
I mean, I absolutely love the idea of the PiStorm. I think it's really the way to go in the future. I mean, compared to like building really, really expensive FPGAs and putting all that. I mean, I love it. It's just not my cup of tea. That's all it is. It's just not my.
It's very much to me. It's very much like the Vampire again. Although it was explained to me by Graham, who this is actually for you to play with. I keep forgetting to post it to you.
I may have been slightly inebriated and had money in my pocket when I was at Kickstart, John.
So just leave it where it is then.
Sorry, I totally forgot. I don't think I was quite. Yeah. Anyway, I managed to convince Stephen to buy one as well, so he's got one too. No, it was Johnny. It was Johnny I convinced to buy one. There was a lot of pints.
They're less like the Vampire, because I think you explained to me before about how it actually works, and it's not the way Vampire does things. This is a bit more like an actual natural accelerator than what the Vampire. The Vampire, I just think, just completely takes over.
I think the same. I don't ever want to be gatekeeping and tell people what they should and shouldn't do. But the Vampire is. It does a wee bit too much. I think it takes over too much. And it feels like it's just using the ports.
The fact that you can basically buy one that's called a standalone and stick it in a case.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's nice that there's all these options. I really do, because it means that you can basically pick something that fits what you want to do with your computer, which is great, from the low end to the high end. So I mean, I'm not slamming anybody for all that stuff, but it's more the controversy. We're talking about controversy around the whole Apollo team thing and how they've treated past members that puts me off, I have to say. I just don't think I'd want to put any money their way based on how they've treated people.
I have. Somebody was always going on about how they've stolen code.
There's a rumour that the code's based on, is it Cold Fire?
Well, I'm pretty sure it is, but I bet you he's licensing it. They'd have taken him down by now.
But
he's probably paying a license fee for every sale.
Could well be, just to make sure nothing comes back on them. But the fact that early boys in the door like Kipper 2K, who built a lot of the early boards, got thrown under the bus. Magsta, who pretty much started the project, thrown under the bus. I'm just not. I'm not up for it. It's just not something I want to. Like you were saying about your thoughts with Amiga kit, Stephen. You don't want involved with things where it's a bit sketchy. It's exactly that for me. I just wouldn't get involved with Vampire.
I have a personal thing with Jens. Not with Jens. Sorry, Jens. I'm fine with Jens and I. I can stand and drink and talk to Jens all day, but I have a thing with Gunnar. I saw how he treated somebody from the Mist team, the original Mist team, and I have the email trails. I'm not going to. Anyone who's really interested can see it. It was a bad situation. I just.
As I say, I still talk to Kipper, and I've seen the stuff going on there as well. And no, thank you. Similar thing. The information is out there, but no, thank you. Not from you.
Stay away from that kind of stuff. Just don't want to think about it and just don't want involved in it.
Exactly. It's meant to be fun. Why do I want to embroil myself in people that are again? It just feels like it's the whole fighting over the remains of a corpse at this point. You know what I mean? Really? Okay.
No,
thank you.
I mean, in terms of the hardware and everything with the Vampire, it's fine. I mean, I love. It was kind of fun because Ollie's he's still hiding off camera, but Ollie does all these Castlevania tunes, right? And I just think it can just totally play up to that with the Terrible Fire and the Vampire Killer tunes. It's just you can have a lot of fun with that. Thing is though, I think I judge people by their sense of humor, and the Vampire team don't seem to have one.
As if you're wrong to do it. I don't agree. Someone who doesn't have a sense of humor, stay well away from. Someone who doesn't have a sense of humor is don't deal with them.
The team have occasionally complained that I've used the vampire. I'm wearing Vampire Killer t-shirts, and I've got Vampire Killer. And at Amiga 37, Chucky and I were demoing the TFMSX with Vampire Killer, and people were coming up and playing it. It was a bit of a joke, right? Come on, I mean,
It's a bit of fun. I think that the chip, the one based on the Buffy, the Vampire Slayer thing. I don't even know if that's going ahead now. Is that died in its arse?
No, it's still going. Rennie is working on it. I speak to her as well in a chat. It's just she kind of opened it up and basically said to people, "Look, help me! I'm kind of out of my depth here," and no one really did. So she's on her own with it basically. I know Stephen. No, sorry, Stephen. that way. If camera's reversed. Stephen has been involved, but some of the other people who were quite heavily involved in the start have naffed off and basically just left her to try and do it.
I'll help anyone. I'll help anybody at all who's polite. That's it. Yeah.
But she's currently her biggest problem has been trying to sort things out with chip shortages and all that sort of banter going on as well. But she's working actually bizarrely with Kipper, who I mentioned previously at the moment, on chipset replacement stuff, which is pretty cool. So some of the chips in the Amiga that are just no longer available.
Oh, that's good, because I've talked about that in the podcast quite a few times, because the way that you can buy a Mister and you can do it. A Mister's fantastic. You can get a Mister that does all the jobs you want to do. But I don't want to. My Mega ST that sits next to me, for example, I don't want to replace the guts of that with a Mister. I might eventually have to do it. What I would like to do, though, is when a custom chip dies, is to replace it with FPGA, and that way have a ship of Theseus kind of going up, trigger broom.
That's exactly what they're aiming for, Dave. Yeah, because I mean, things like there's various open source projects that you can get a whole Amiga in, but because it's integrated into one chip, it's not like the code's set up so that you can say, "I'll take this chunk and that will give me a working Paula." It's not like that at all. They're having to basically do a lot of the work from scratch. So as far as I'm aware, they've started with Gary. They started simple, and they're working their way up. But the work's ongoing on all of them, as far as I know. I'm not involved.
I gave Rennie schematic, and because I just had too many projects, I just handed her. I did a re-Agnes. I just handed her the whole thing.
Yep.
So there was a whole drop in Agnes for a 500. I mean, I was like it was almost like a. There you go. There's the and a fully built board as well. It was a fully built board you could just plug into a 500.
Because you can see it happening with the C64. I mean, the C64 is nearly there, I think.
Yeah.
So that's obviously a lot simpler than an Amiga. But if it could be done with C64, then you would hope eventually, in the not too distant future, every part of the Amiga can be replaced.
That would be great. I mean, the fact that Chucky, as you say, has done the motherboard and then drop all the other stuff in. But it needs people to do it. But it's the standard thing as well. Where it is complicated, and you're not going to make your fortune doing stuff on the Amiga. Nobody's going to make their fortune doing stuff on the Amigas. It has to be a labour of love as such. It needs someone who's willing to see it through, doesn't it?
So Martin Clark's asking about which project you talked. Do you mean on the 64 or on the Amiga? I mean, the Amiga project I was referring to is the stuff that's basically a collaboration between, I suppose, Terrible Fire and Buffy project, but I don't know about the 64 stuff. The one thing I did want to say was it's like one of these things that one of the first computers that took, because we're used to these machines that have got like all these different custom chips in them. One of the first machines that did this whole massively integrated system on a chip type solutions was the Archimedes A4000, and it took the VIDC, the MEMC, and the IOC, and it sort of slammed them into one chip and called it the ARM 250, and it was heralded as like the greatest thing. It was going to cost save, it was make everything brilliant. I have to say, I find it the most offensive computer in history. I find that that's the computer that started. That's where I stopped liking it, because I like having all these chips that dance, and I know that it makes sense from a business perspective to have one chip instead of 3 or 4. But for me, it's the chips dancing.
The GX4000, the GX4000 is the same. It's got an ASIC in it, and it's got basically what would be an Amstrad CPC put into this one single chip, and it means if anything goes in it, it's dead. That's it. You can't replace it. There's no part you can swap out.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was the right decision business-wise for making it as cheap as possible. That's what Alan Sugar was trying to do. But it takes the appeal of tinkering away. It takes the appeal of trying to fix it. The only thing you can fix on it really is the power supply, because it takes the weird 11 volts thing. You can deal with that. But other than that, if something goes in it and it's not the memory, then it's the ASIC, and the whole thing's just rubbish.
Yeah. Ollie, have you seen the price of second-hand ICs because of the replacement boards? You're uniquely placed to answer that question.
Of which?
Amiga. So buying the ICs for your...
Oh my god, it would have been cheaper to buy a handful of Amiga 1200.
Yeah.
Jeez. That was so expensive.
Yeah. So somebody asked...
I'm a couple of grand in at this stage. Just on,
and I got you a free case as well.
And you got me, yeah.
When Rob did his Amiga 500 plus.
This build here, it's a 1200 Amiga.
Oh, it's. I was going to say it's the wrong way around, but it's the way that camera makes it look.
Yeah.
When Rob did his Amiga 500 plus, there was lots of people trying to get a set of custom chips together for it, and they got to this hurdle when they got to the Agnes, and then found out how much the Agnes was. And it's not cheap at all, 60 quid or something, I think.
Yeah, I'm exaggerating. Like this is probably right now. I'm probably at 500. Like I got everything I need at this stage, but it's buying a 1200 motherboard would have been cheaper. But it's not the point.
Yeah, you do it for your own entertainment. Yeah. It's not. If we were talking about how much these things cost and so on, we'd all be using emulators.
Yes,
of course. Yeah,
especially the cabs.
Which incidentally, I'm using a lot of my cabs now. I'm just running a Raspberry Pi emulator with a RGB thing because it's easier. I have the original boards, but it's a lot easier to.
I know that Neil, when he's talking about the arcade archive, I know that Alex. I don't think Alex likes anything other than original arcade boards at all. And
he has
for an
a
archive,
Smarty Pi in his Sega drivers, though.
Yeah. But for certain things you have to for that. But he, they're talking about having a backup mister inside each one, so that if the board dies, they can flick a switch and say, "Look, here you go. Here's the replacement bus service."
even a mister, that's a bit overkill. I love what the mister is doing. I really like it, but the emulation is close to
well, there's more coming. There's more coming with that. I think there's movement now towards going away from that. It must be this DE10 Nano, and there's movement away from that, and you might see misters with less expensive materials on them.
Good. Fair enough.
Because that would be a nice step forward. Because the mister is overkill. I know that everybody's focused on will it do the PlayStation and so on. I couldn't give a fuck. I wanted to do 1987 arcade boards. I wanted to do things.
I have a PlayStation there if I want to play a PlayStation.
Yeah, there's that too. But for me, the arcade experience is the cab, the original cab. With the different controls that you can't just emulate on a desktop or laptop, or and the CRT.
Yeah, CRT is the main thing.
The hardware the game is running on, I couldn't care less. I don't care if emulation is so good nowadays. I've had arcades for years and years.
Well, if you can't tell, then if you switch it on, you're playing the game. Does it feel any different to you? No, because you've got the CRT in front of you, you've got the arcade controls in your hands, and the rest of it doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, exactly. So
I've
done exactly that. I've put dual setups now in most of my cabs. So there's an original board and an emulation board, like a Pi or whatever, and as the boards, I'm sick of fixing the board. So as the boards go one by one, I'm just switching on the emulation, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's how it sounds.
Sorry, what's Stephen doing? Is he making pizzas and posting them out?
Large pepperoni, mate.
No, I'm making up boxes.
package to Jim Bowen. His next
Yeah.
Jim Bowen.
No, I'm just making up boxes to post out the t-shirts.
Ah, right, of course.
I have a nice new delivery of Scottish Amiga Group polo shirts in black and in purple, as modelled by my fat self.
Get in my belly.
Have you got a Mike Daly Isabella N t-shirt?
He'd sign that. He would.
He'd sign it.
So I did order a t-shirt, but it's not came yet. In fact, I'll just show you.
Go on, Stephen.
I'm disappointed. I was going to wear it tonight, but it
Yes.
didn't come up in time.
Ah,
And
I
I
bet
thought-
it arrives tomorrow now. You have
And I'll not even be here. I'll be away on holiday. So yeah, let me find it.
Someone's just put a link in our MC Discord that says Amiga Maxi confirmed.
Aye, I've heard that it's happening. So it's the 500 mini, but a full-size one with a keyboard, supposedly.
A 500 mini maximum.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no right word for it, is there?
There is
A
not.
full size mini. A tall
Basically,
dwarf.
aye. It's a mini, but in the same sense that BMWs are making a mini.
Yeah. Oh, you seen the size of those beasts now?
It's
My
just
dad
not a
goes on
mini at
about-
all.
My
It's a
dad used to
biggie.
drive a mini. That was his first car years ago, and he always talks when he sees a mini now and he gets angry about it.
Yeah, I've got a mate. I
Somebody
mean,
got the money
I
to
remember-
pump it up, you know.
I had a mate at uni who had an automatic mini, one of the originals.
Mhm.
You could actually, because it was automatic, there's obviously no gear shift, you could sit in the passenger seat, grab the bottom of the steering wheel and reach the pedals. So you could drive about in the passenger seat screaming like the car had just gone mental and was driving about itself. It was brilliant fun. The look on people's faces. Are you showing us the t-shirt, Stephen, or are you just folding your boxes?
Yeah, but Stephen's no there, so he
Has
can't
he
accept.
where's he gone now?
I don't know.
Get a drink.
I
He
don't know.
can't accept my screen share request.
What we should do is we should all just leave the chat, so it's just him.
Brilliant.
And they're talking about whether they'll be clever enough to design the Amiga Maxi. Is that what's going to get called?
Apparently so.
Yeah, the Amiga Maxi. It's a good name as any. I can't.
They're
think
naming
of a better
everything after Austin cars. Have you noticed this?
one.
I'm looking forward to the Amiga Princess.
Amiga Allegro.
Allegro.
If they're clever enough to make it with the back ports compatible with an Amiga 5, a proper Amiga 500 motherboard, then they'll sell loads of them because people will just buy them.
cases. Got them.
And stick a new production Amiga 500 board in.
To be fair, if it's the same size, even if the ports in the back weren't right, you could just, it wouldn't matter. You know what I mean?
Aye, make them snap it. Put little lines in it to help you snap them out properly.
Or even just if the whole back part just popped out, you've got the metal shield. So
You can 3D print one, yeah.
exactly.
But that'd be great. I mean, if you could get a new bell end.
Belter.
So I actually ordered that last week, but it hasn't turned up yet. And I was going to wear it tonight, but unfortunately, I can't. It's a shame.
It is a shame.
Because that would get you a new production Amiga 500 case. You can get all the chips made. You can get the PCB made. You can get a brand new Amiga that still feels like a proper one. That'd be great.
Stephen, order me one of them in XXL, and I'll wear it when I'm doing the thing at Neil's on cam.
Right, okay. Okay. Anybody else want one while I'm on?
I'll pass, man. Thanks, though.
All right.
Neil might not let me wear it, to be fair.
You'll have to get it censored out. Can you pixelate it a bit?
No. No. That just detracts from the experience.
So, Ollie, I'll send you this.
Oh, cool. Is that just the bare board? Yeah, perfect.
I'll put everything I can find on it. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll hit you up for if I'm missing anything for details. Cool.
So that's
Looking
the TFMSX with the JAMA adapter. You can kind of see how the JAMA don't know if you can kind of see how the JAMA works. It's kind of
Sandwiched.
sandwiched, like it's got these guys, and then
Headers. And Goose's case is perfect for it, actually.
yeah. Oh, I haven't got. I've taken it all apart because I was
Sure.
reprogramming it, but yeah, the easiest way I found to do this whole put all these on was to actually jam them together and then solder it. It was a bit tricky, but yeah, and then
That's awesome.
So there's
Well done.
that's the project. I mean, you couldn't do any more, could you? Can you connect a keyboard to that?
yeah, Arik is on the keyboard controller for it.
Well, it's perfect then. It's just perfect. USB,
even
amazing.
USB. Yeah.
And USB joystick and keyboard.
And there's 2 actual old joystick ports on the side.
Yeah.
So,
And 2 old joystick. I've only got one hooked up, but yeah.
Mm.
And
That's amazing. Then. Absolutely amazing.
yeah.
the last thing to implement is some of the sound options
Yeah.
of the SCC.
So for the sound stuff, we'll need a way to deactivate it if you don't want it.
It's a nice to
Yeah.
have, though. I mean, the
Yeah.
SCC is normally in the cartridge. That's for people who can't really afford the cartridge.
But Space Manbo, we could also probably look at putting a little arm on here and doing the cartridge that way.
Yeah.
Would you pay an extra $5 for SCC?
People would, yeah, absolutely.
Could maybe do it that way. Maybe that's an easier way to do it than. But
Forcing it onto the actually, because then you need to. I think you need to patch the actual code to tell it to look for the SCC somewhere else.
well, that's what we were going to do. You'd have to put a key sequence in, or there's 2 spare jumpers.
Yeah.
So it would say activate SCC and which slot you want
yeah,
it in.
yeah.
That was my thinking for having that spare set of
Gotcha.
jumpers there. But then you'd have to switch the jumpers off when you put your another cart that uses that memory range back in. So it's not perfect, but
So it's really quite far from being a Daft Wee project. It's really quite far from that.
It's a full MSX.
yeah, it's grown our
Without any caveats, without any kind of but you can't do this. No, none of that's there. You can
In
do
fact,
it.
some MSX at the time used exactly that same setup. They had a custom chip for glue logic. It wasn't FPGA, but it was something, something similarly. Like if you look at some of the Philips MSX, that's what they had inside. There was those standard chips, and the glue logic was a single embedded chip, and that was it.
The only thing you can't do on this is load things from tape.
That's terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that that's not even that hard to implement either, is it? Is it?
I'm sure you could make a cartridge for that. But
Yeah.
Does it have the cartridge slot on it?
it's got 2.
That's
I've only got
pretty
one soldered
So
in.
for floppies, you can make a cartridge like that.
Yeah, I have that.
And that'll work to a GoTech.
And we've tested those with this as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you can there's probably a way to do that with a card for the tape anyway.
So going back to synthesizers and stuff like that, bore the all to death. We could probably use the Music Composer software, the cartridges, plug them in with the YK10 keyboard.
Yeah, you could. That's how they work. If I remember Neil's video, then that makes sense.
Cool.
And if you want one, just ask Chucky for one because he's building them.
He's appeared in the chat, I've noticed.
So you can use one of those, and it's a MIDI cartridge for MSX.
So to answer your question, Dave, this did actually start out as a completely daft doodle.
I know, but that's not what it is now, though.
Yeah, I know. More support headaches on a platform I don't really know.
It's a big cart, but it's got MIDI out
Oh, certainly is.
and audio out as well. But I mean,
It's a whole
probably a bit
Atari
too
ST in
big
there.
for yeah.
Just big as the idea.
It's the same size as the machine.
Think of that. It would work. There's no reason why it wouldn't. And that's a Yamaha OPL in there.
So it is an Atari ST then.
Actually, the most amount of effort that went into this was making the sound chip, making the sound mixer work, because that was kind of hard because it was an analog thing, and it had to sound good as well as yeah.
I like one of those. I've got a CX5M in the loft. Haven't used it for a long time. But it's just a bulky machine and keyboard and stuff like that.
I still have the one that Neil sent me here. Got it to work eventually.
So yeah, it's been a daft little side project that's sort of like I can.
How long have you been doing it for? How long has it taken you?
When did I start that, Ollie? I don't remember. I was before I moved house. Just before I moved house, so that was January 2021.
I got you into the MSX, but why did you start thinking about reproing it?
Booze.
Probably.
Yeah.
Knowing me, yes, probably. I like routing boards. It's like one of my most relaxing things I to do. I like just like getting a board, routing it. So if I doodle a schematic and then go, oh, I've got a schematic, I've got a board, yeah, I'll route that. And then the next thing I wake up and I've realized I've actually ordered it from JLC PCB, and I'm like, oh, okay, for whatever, And then it turns up and I go, I've got to make this work now.
You must be delighted, though. You must pick it up and be delighted with what you've done. I hope.
I mean, it's nice, but I don't know. Delighted is the wrong. I mean, I tell you what, I live for the moment that it starts working. If I'm honest, if I'm absolutely honest, I live for that. Yes, it's working moment. And then there's the other people see that, and then they go, "Can I have one?" And then I have to make it work for them, and that's the hard bit. That's a bit like a job. So
I don't know a great deal about MSXs, but are they in short supply? Are they expensive to get hold of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
The machines are getting pricier and pricier, especially in MSX2. You won't find anything under 300 at this stage. And in the games, I mean, if you find any cart, even a bad cart under 50 euros, you grab it.
And I take it that's got video output that's usable. It's got what is it, VGA or HDMI? The TF-MSX?
Yeah. It's original. It's
RGB.
SCART.
15 kilohertz.
Yeah.
So you can get that. Yeah, that's ideal then. So people will get that, and people will be delighted with it. You'll make people happy.
As long as they don't find an edge case that's going to take me 6 months to figure out.
Are they going to tell you, and you're going to feel compelled to do it? Are you able to tune it out?
Yeah.
And say, sorry, it's not going to.
No, I can't tune that out.
You'll say no, and then the next day you'll be working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's a brand new MSX, really. It's not even a clone because it's an open standard. So
yeah. So it's unlike most other things. I guess the only thing close to that is 3DO. You going to do a 3DO next time?
No.
We still have the Chase HQ to finish.
Keep asking you.
Oh, don't tell
He's still got to finish his RTG card for the Amiga first. So
we've been through this, Graham. Okay, so I take my card and put it. So we talked about the easiest way to do that would be to put a Raspberry Pi on and use that for RTG.
Yeah, brilliant.
At that point, you've got a Pi Storm.
Do you see Chucky's got an awfully bad cough in the comments?
Yeah. And I remain the 4060 has been my absolute priority. I have spent lots of time working on that. That is my number one thing. But this, I mean, how long did this take me, Ollie? In a couple of hours?
10 minutes.
And it worked this time.
Do you measure it in minutes or pints?
Yeah.
No, I mean I did this design in an afternoon, like when I was supposed to be working, I think. And then it turned up here on Monday or Tuesday, and I soldered it up, and I sort of hammered, and Ollie'd been doing a similar one, and
for weeks.
I plugged it in, and I was like, "There's no fucking way this is going to work the first time, and it did, right? And so I videoed it and sent it to Ollie, and I said, "You're allowed to hate me. Just call me Tony. Put me on your list of enemies." Father Ted.
It's all right. I hated you before anyway.
But that moment of it just working, that's what I live for. That's what I like. That moment when it just suddenly works and you get it.
That's
and
sweet.
You get it to work.
I had a moment like that today when I got those RAMs working on the Amiga build.
I had a moment like that today, which just explained to me how much a fan I am. I've been struggling to get I bought a 1200. I've been trying to work out if it works or not. I couldn't get it working, and I tried all sorts. I kept trying to work out why is this not behaving like a 1200 should, because I was getting sidetracked looking at the CF card images and thinking, is it them? And I'm thinking, no, it's not them. It's not behaving as it should. And eventually, Pillock says to me, why don't you just plug the edge, the flat cable in upside down, but also reverse the cartridge so that it's still the right way around, but if one or two of the lanes in the cable are dead, then you'll find out that way. So I tried that, it didn't work, and I flipped it back round, and it worked. So all it needed was, I think, either contact cleaner, which normally I spray and everything liberally anyway, or there's a slightly dodgy connection in the cable, but the whole time it's just been me, and I could have avoided it by just using contact cleaner yesterday.
You definitely did need that jumper, though, that you were missing. Without that, it would not work.
Right.
The one I saw earlier, because I have spent hours and hours and hours trying to debug machines without those.
Because it wasn't.
And then when I realised that, I went mental at myself.
This wasn't branded as for Amigas. This was just a cheap one off Amazon. It didn't come with any jumpers at all in a little packet. It was the sealed silver packet. There was nothing else in it. Because I was wondering if they would me a wee silica bag.
They look like that. But they have to have. They will not work without these that wee jumper.
Yeah, I've just soldiered up a wee blob in the back to bridge the pins in it.
To be honest, that's probably more reliable than having.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I never want to stick it in slave mode, then there's no. Well, I can always do it with a soldering iron anyway.
Apparently, Andrew's been. Had
curry.
Having a curry, a Ruby Murray.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello, Brett.
Hey,
Brett.
So is that the immediate question I have to ask? Is that a genuine Mortal Kombat machine behind you, or
arcade one up?
Oh, it's an arcade one up.
Yeah, I wish I had the full size.
But would you have room for it? There's such a size
big,
difference.
yeah.
Not in this house.
Yeah.
Maybe where
I
I used
owned one for about 2
previous
weeks.
one.
Oh, what happened to that one? Did it go away?
It wasn't for me. It was actually I picked it up for a friend.
Yeah, I remember that now. But it worked first time, or there was some minor. It was the control module.
Oh yeah, we I mean, I got it for about it was 200 because it was dead, and all it was the adjustment board on the neck board was actually dirty. The connectors, so I just cleaned them up and the monitor worked. The game worked.
Contact cleaner, like I should have done yesterday. Yep.
Yeah.
I really want an arcade one up Star Wars.
They're cool.
I kind of got I got a yoke. You can get a yoke from Glenn's Retro Shop, and it's a proper metal one. I got one of those, and I just thought I set myself up a kind of a folding desk with a MAME set up on it, and I thought I'll do that with a flat screen LCD, because if I'm playing Star Wars, a CRT is not going to make it any better, because I'm not going to get a vector monitor. You can't get a vector monitor, but you can, at least on an LCD, you can fake it with lots of glow and lots of effects to try and get closer to it. Ollie?
No, it just reminded me, tomorrow I'm actually going on an arcade raid to a warehouse. I told you, Stephen, already, but
I expect photos.
I got an email at the beginning of the week. Somebody said, I just came across your YouTube channel. You're a glutton for punishment, blah, blah. I have a small warehouse with various old battered pieces of arcade ghosts. And occasionally, when I get time, I pull one out and go out for a while. Some stuff I want to move, see if you're interested. blah blah. So we were in contact, and I'm going over tomorrow. He's got apparently a lot of old Vector stuff, monitor stuff, and he's got
Vector
Star
stuff's
Wars.
lovely. The Vector stuff's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you certainly a CRT doesn't get close to it. So I didn't see any point in having a CRT for that setup there. So I'm gonna have a.
So he's got a Star Wars. So I'm gonna see what the story is.
Is it sit down? Tell me it's a sit down.
I don't know.
So-
I wouldn't think it is. If it's
So-
in that, I'm fucked because I don't have the room for it.
So Ollie's been trying to get me swatted because he keeps posting links to guns, replacement guns for replacement controllers for the Operation Wolf. And I keep getting sent to the post, and they're basically
They're joysticks, aren't they?
They're full-size metal Uzi 9mm.
They're
Yeah, but I mean,
joysticks
the
rather than
control
guns.
itself, it's a joystick. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
real.
that's
They're
on
not real. They're not real, but
They're not real guns, are they? No.
No, but if they were scanned in an X-ray, it would look like a real gun, right?
Okay, yeah, right enough. True.
So Ollie keeps going, "No, look, there's a spare gun there. Buy it. You
Stick it inside the cab. Right. How
It is
do you?
very
How
good.
do you import that? How do you declare? I've got something that looks like a gun. It looks like a gun. Don't shite yourself. How do you do that?
Don't
You're
know.
right on the stub. Don't shite yourself. It looks like a gun.
It's arrived here without too much fuss. So. I haven't been swatted yet, unfortunately. Well, fortunately.
Yet.
so yeah.
I love that you expect it to happen.
Hopefully, I'll be able to film tomorrow as well. Might be interesting.
That'll be good. Good. You know what's on my shopping list? Space Invaders. You see anything for that? And
Well, that's
pretty
another raid coming up at the end of the
Right.
month as well. There's another warehouse we need to go to.
just anything spare for the Space Invaders. That's my probably the. I have to stop after that unless
Famous
I
last
have a. Well, I have to stop until the Sega's up and running, the Space Invaders up and running until I find out what's happening with the power drift from truck, because that's
Oh yeah, you have that, of course. Yeah.
yeah, because if that turns up, I haven't got room, and
Sit down power drift. That's a big. Big.
a bunch of these lads have been in the house, and for me to say I don't have room is quite something, right? It's
Yeah, that's what always happens. When you buy a bigger space, you'll find a way to fill it. It's just what happens.
I bought this house. I lived in a flat, and then I bought this house. And before I moved into the house, I had it filled with just stuff I'd bought in the meantime while it was getting while I was getting renovated. I was buying stuff on eBay just non-stop, and then by the time I got I'm now the place is now full. I wouldn't have enough space to move things around to sort it out. And even still, I'm looking at at the back of my head, I'm thinking, get yourself a couple of Electricon Goliaths. I'd love a couple of Electricon Goliaths for the garage when I finish the conversion of it there. But what am I doing? Look at that! I've got too much stuff already.
It's just the way it works, isn't it?
Dave will
Yeah.
take
That's
your
what we do.
your candy cab, the candy cab that you're looking to shift. If you come over with the van at some point,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if I would or not. I don't know. The candy cabs look great, but they're not what I played. It was Electricon Goliath looks to me like the most. They look just like what I played. I think that's what they must have been most of the time.
How about another certain cab that you wanted to give to someone else? The Double Dragon.
could do. Yeah.
You're gonna keep that now. you got attached. That's what happens.
Well, the problem is it's actually being used for testing. It's a
Yeah,
really
of
good
course, yeah.
testing cab.
So the candy cab that he's talking is actually a stand-up candy cab. It's not the big fat sit down ones. You know, where you need a stool.
So
But,
we were talking cab gymnastics of how do we. Sorry.
yeah, I need to shift that anyway at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, their candy cabs are just a level up from. I don't even think we had them here. I don't think we had them here at any point other than imports. I don't think any arcades bought them in. Electricon Goliath, I think, was probably about the biggest that they went.
The
I don't
screens on
care
those
for them,
are-
to be honest, that much.
What candy cabs or Goliaths?
Yeah, no, I don't. I've no attachment to them really, because like that, they just weren't around when I was in the arcades.
Because when I look back, when I was in the arcades, I had no idea. I never paid any attention at all to what the arcade machines, actually cabinets were.
Sure.
And it's only now when I look back to try and work out what did they actually look like. And when I saw the Electricon Goliath control panel, bang! That was it. That was it.
Yeah. I get that.
First time I ever saw a candy cab was at Play Expo in 2010. Never seen them before until then. I thought, what are these? They just all look very uniform. You know,
I
they all
like
had
them.
different names
I
and
liked
stuff.
them until I saw one standing. I still saw a proper arcade cab. I mean, that's me. That's a prejudice there. The candy cabs are proper arcade cabs, but the arcade cabs that I'm used to next to a candy cab, and I thought, hang on, those are two completely different things.
An actual arcade cabinet. It's got artwork. It's got they're different. They all had their own nuances. They all looked about the same, you know. But the rest of them had all the artwork and they looked a bit different. They had a bit different shape.
I'll get myself
The RT was mounted differently and all that kind of stuff. Right. I'm going to head off, guys. Lovely chat.
Thanks for joining in, John.
No worries. See you, John.
Have
See
a
you,
lovely
John.
evening, all.
And you.
See you there.
I kind of wish I'd waited a little bit before I got this MK2 arcade one up, because they have one out now that has a light up marquee and it connects online. I guess I don't know if you can actually play with people over the internet, but I think it saves maybe high scores or something like that. There's some sort of internet connectivity in it now. So,
Cool.
just for the light up marquee alone, I should.
You can always retrofit that.
Yeah, it's a little bit beyond my skill set though.
It's two wires and a light. You know, so-
Well, you've got to. I mean, that's a piece of wood. You've got to take that off somehow.
Right. It's not perspex then. It's
No,
proper...
it's a label on a piece of plywood or something like that.
Okay. Like
So
most
it's
of the
not
machines
quite
I have are like perspex, and if the light went out, I could run another light up there somehow.
Yeah, you've got the
Most
proper
of-
cabinets.
And most of my cabinets have got they've actually got a fluorescent bulb in there. I think it's just like, and they're wired to the mains. Like it's like a main fluorescent bulb. That's
Can you replace those with like a modern LED, or is there a drop-in replacement for the fluorescents?
just buy another fluorescent for now. I mean, probably at some point want the LED, but honestly, when you turn on one of those cabs, your electricity meter's going around like this anyway.
Well, I may not have all those cabinets with those, but I've got a server rack in my garage right now that does it to my my electric bill. So
it's really I don't have all the machines on very often, but had my boy had a couple of his pals around the other week, and I turned them all on, and they were just like, this machine, this machine, and it was just amazing to see them running around the machines and having fun. Just letting the kids play on them. That makes it all worth it, really. I don't know. From the one machine I have that I love to play, but I never get to play, is the Continental Circus, because everything's jammed up against it right now. I think I need to get in and have a game on that. But yeah,
one of the favorite things I remember from where I'm working at now, but I put my 2 weeks notice in today. Here a couple years ago, the retro bug hit me again. I bought an Amiga 3000. I actually had it sitting on my desk at work. And I think I had another one, and we had a bunch of other people working in my department that were, significantly younger. That's like, what the heck is that thing? So it was fun to fire that up and let them show what, late 80s, early 90s computing was like.
blue screens to death.
They had all been like born like right around, year 2000 or something like that. They missed all that good stuff. I actually managed to get one of my coworkers into it. He's got a Commodore 64 that I fixed, and he bought a Mac. No, he's 2 Macs now. Mac SEs. So he's gotten the bug now.
Funny thing about retro computers is they spontaneously multiply, right? We all
Oh,
know
yeah.
that, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, my closet knows all about that.
I've got far too many.
Stephen buys stuff from Rob Cranley for £50 all the time.
It's 50 quid. It's always 50 quid.
I'm sure Rob's never done you a bad turn, though.
Oh no,
No, I don't
Rob
think so.
hasn't. Rob's never done a bad turn, but Rob's never been involved.
Rob's
in
never actually sold me anything.
But on paper,
Yeah, I mean, if anybody
paper.
ever asks, Rob sold me it for 50 quid.
Sorry, I get you. Yeah.
Well, mostly if his missus asks, really. That's the. Yeah.
Well, to be fair though, I did buy a really, really nice boxed, more or less brand new CD32, and I paid
50
a
quid,
lot
that
of
would have
money
been.
for it.
Yeah, but 50 quid.
for Rob.
55,
But
60.
I couldn't really hide the fact that I'd bought it for my wife. Because we went up to Dundee to get it. The guy was like, "Oh, ship it down to you." Will you? Hell, I'll come and pick it up. Yeah, that was a lot of money. Considerably more than the 50 quid. But the problem with that was I then had to spend that on her as well. So it cost me double.
Yep.
Did the CD32 have a keyboard? I know the CD-TV had a keyboard, but the CD32 have an official keyboard?
Yeah, you could plug in a Maker 4000 keyboard into it.
Right.
But there are rumours that there was an official keyboard, all colour coded, and some people have pictures of it, but I have never seen one in the wild.
Yeah. But you can just find an Amiga 4000 and put keycaps if you're from Amiga 1200.net on there. If you're prepared to wait 5 years for the keys, that is.
Well, I didn't wait 5 years for the keys. What I did was I said, I know that you've done this Kickstarter and people are waiting for them. Can I just jump the queue and buy them? They're like, yeah, no bother. There you go. Ordered them, shipped the next day. Keycaps, no bother.
Ideal.
I didn't even know there was I didn't even know. I knew about the Kickstarter and people were waiting. I didn't even know it was the same people. Chrissy just told me, look, there's some available. Could get them. I was like, I'll get one. Order the set. They came, no bother. Jump the queue.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't seem fair at all.
I'm not blaming you. It's not your problem. I don't think it's your fault. I'm just thinking that's the sort of thing that gets people's backs up. Yeah.
And I understand you could kind of justify it by saying it's a different thing entirely to the Kickstarter, but it doesn't feel that way at all. It just seems wrong.
There's nothing legal. It's not about the legality of it, right?
No, and that doesn't matter. It's ethically.
It's just about. It's not even as much about the ethics as much as it's respect for your customers. Do you know what I mean? Respect to the people that bankrolled you. You know,
because I'm now trying to work out what I've got this Checkmate 1500, the new ones that Stephen Jones made, and I've got a black one that looks great, and I've got a new old stock Gateway 17-inch CRT for it, and I'm going to use the keyboard shell that he did, and nobody that I've spoken to likes the Checkmate keyboard shell, and a few people have said, Dave, you're not going to like it. You're going to want to replace it. So now I'm looking at CD-TV keyboards thinking I'm going to have to get one of those anyway.
CD-TV, if you get a CD-TV keyboard, oh my God, it'll cost you 200 quid.
I know.
Don't ruin a CD-TV keyboard. Just get an adapter or something.
Oh, I would make my own adapter. It's easy enough to do that.
Yeah, but I'm saying don't ruin the keyboard. I've got a CD-TV keyboard, and they're rare. They're getting rarer and rarer.
I know. It's just that if I do the whole thing, if I have this monitor, the Checkmate, if I have the 1200 all tricked out the way I want it, and the only thing missing is a keyboard that I like, then I'm going to end up getting one.
You need to just use a white keyboard.
No, can't do it. And I'm still looking for a keyboard from ST. I've got when Atari brought out the Mega ST, they had these lovely black cherry switches in them. The great keyboards. I don't have one. I've got the Mega STE, which is the enhanced one, but it comes out with this cheap keyboard. But you can swap the keyboards around. But when you're looking at eBay now and you see a Mega ST listing, if you see the listing for that, more often than not, it's got a Mega STE keyboard because somebody's done a swap. to get the Mega STE, which is the one you want, with the Mega ST keyboard, which is the keyboard you want.
Right.
Mix and match.
Yeah, because you can swap the two around, and you can you see a listing, and unless you know what you're looking for, nothing looks wrong with it until you spot, hang on, those function keys aren't slanted.
Has anyone been following the Command X? $200 for a custom keyboard. I mean, no, I don't know. I'm not sure. Have you got a link? Retro Computers, and we'll have a look. I do like my mechanical keyboards, but whatever happened with the Amiga on the Lake thing? What's the latest with that?
They've gone quiet. Nobody's getting any feedback from them. Kipper hasn't heard from them in ages. It's just.
But we're talking like 5 years now. Not talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were still delivering. There were still people saying that they were arriving, but in dribs and drabs. The problem is that they own the molds for the custom keys. So even though Kipper did the legwork, it's not his anymore. Basically, he gave them the project to let them do it because he didn't want to do the straight sell anymore because he got nothing but grief with it.
I don't do that either.
Exactly. So it's what he did, but they took it on. They funded the custom molds for the custom Amiga keys, like the longer space bar, the enter key, all that sort of stuff. So it's theirs. They own it, basically. And unfortunately, if they're not doing it and not sending them out, then they're not doing it and they're not sending them out. So,
was this mechanical keyboards for Amiga?
500 or 1200? Yes.
Right. Because I like one of those. If I'm gonna get, I've got a set of these keycaps, and I've got the shell from Checkmate, and I'll just use a 500 keyboard in it because that's compatible with the 1200. I just need to wire a pin header on.
That's it.
But a mechanical keyboard would be the magic upgrade for that.
So I think Ollie's faced with a similar issue with. So he has he's putting together the new 1200, and he's got a case, but he didn't have a keyboard. I sent him a 1200 membrane. I think you have a 500 keyboard kicking around somewhere, you said?
I have one, yeah, and it's the right one as well, so I can adapt that.
Right.
It should be easy enough.
You just need to cut the bit of the casing and...
Yeah, so you just cut that top part here.
And you'll need to cut a wee part on the... you'll need to cut this piece off. There's like a lip here. You'll need to cut this space out here. For this exact.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's not a bother.
This is to fit the 500 keyboard where
onto
the 1200 would be. Yep.
You put a 1200. You put a 1200 membrane into a 500 keyboard and make it a 1200 keyboard.
Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't know you could do that.
This is the only thing is this is a French keyboard.
But the laws you are French.
But I know.
Wasn't there someone else making a mechanical 1200 keyboard? I
think
I saw it on beta.
Is it Rasport? Gets it. Yeah. There was adverts for that recently, wasn't there?
This will need a retro bite as well.
It's
yellow.
Ollie, Chucky says 500 keyboard works on the Amiga.
Yeah, it's got got the connector for it. That's right.
You just remove the LEDs.
Yeah, the KA59 keyboard is the other mechanical keyboard you can get.
So that's even simpler, yeah.
I'm looking at one here. I don't know what one you mentioned already, but A1200.net says new Amiga mechanical keyboard built with Mitsumi hybrid mechanical switches.
Yeah, they didn't like using Cherry MX, so they've done their own one using Mitsumi mechanical switches, but it means that you can use their keycaps on it. But I don't think it's here yet.
Yes, so that would... A1200 is working with Stephen Jones Checkmate 15 Plus external keyboard housing to ensure compatibility. So that's me then. That's me sorted.
That is you, yeah.
Yeah, that because I'm using the Checkmate 1500 Plus and I'm using their keycap. So that would be the whole thing for me sorted when that finally arrives. So all I need to do is to make sure I get it as quick as possible is don't back any Kickstarter and come in afterwards and buy one directly from them.
Exactly. And that'll get you in on the ground floor without waiting 5 years.
Yeah, just beat the queue. Just wait until the door's open and say, excuse me, coming through.
I'm famous, you know.
Marcel's going to punch me the next time he sees me, I'm telling you.
Again?
He almost did the last time, but... Anyway.
Maybe I was lucky then. I got my keycaps a long time ago. They're just the plain colored ones, though, the standard colors. US layout.
The problem, Retro Computers' problem is getting a case. The case is difficult to get. I wasn't aware. I don't
The
know.
1200 net cases.
Oh, look who it is. It's trouble.
Oh, hello.
Oh no, he's full of curry and hammered.
Actually, Chucky, I'm just thinking about this keyboard, Chucky. I know you're in the chat now. It's just the membrane on that is gone anyway, so I'm going to have to replace
I
it.
should have said
I've had 3
Pilot's
pints.
got membranes. Pilot's got membranes. If you ask him, Ollie, he might.
I
he
have
might be
one.
able to sort you-
Stephen, you sent me one for 1200 anyway.
Yeah, I could have sent you one for a 500 if I'd known, but
Yeah, but this will work.
yeah, but it would have been less hassle if I'd sent you a 500 one.
Ah, yeah, but then less fun.
But the knows you're French.
Someone need a
Yeah.
1200 keyboard membrane, or did at one time?
I think Ollie's going to need some new keys for his. It depends on whether he wants to keep it French or.
But not the membrane.
No,
I think I've got a spare around here somewhere that I'm not using.
Look, the likelihood of me typing anything on that machine is very, very low.
Yeah.
Just how French are you, Ollie? I know that you are French, but do you speak a lot of French? Do you?
Oh yeah, no,
are you-
I moved to Ireland when I was 21.
Oh, I see. Okay, because you wouldn't know that you're French from your accent.
So let me put it this way: after him spending 3 weeks in France in June, he was telling me he was about to renounce his French citizenship. He was fed up with it. He said, "No, I think you like France. It's your family or I don't
It's
know."
any time you go back to your family, you know. It's
Yeah.
yeah, Christmas time. You know, family, parents, and
So it's like,
siblings.
so when are you renouncing your French citizenship? I'm filling out the paperwork right now.
Yeah.
There's
No, I'm at the stage I've spent more time here in Ireland than I have in France, really. But yeah,
there's
first language is French.
there's a Swedish streamer called Pinge Show, and a nice guy, really nice guy, in fact. It's great to watch stream, nice and relaxing. But he learned English in Ireland, and he speaks English with a little hint of an Irish accent. And I guess that's the same as you, Ollie. You speak English with an Irish accent because that's where you learned English, and that's how you learned it.
Yeah. It's probably easier as well when it's not your first language because it's just an adopted language, so you just adopt the accent, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
a nice accent to have.
Speaking of that, on holiday, it's always funny with my boy. He goes around and makes friends in the resorts or whatever we're at, and people ask him where he's from, and he says Glasgow, and they say, "No, you're not." He sounds just like me. So they say, "No, you're not from Glasgow." They just don't believe it.
Liar.
Because he's not in a school for Glaswegians, really.
He's known for
School
carrying a
tutors.
bottle of Buckfast.
He's in a school for tutors in Glasgow. So.
It's a special compound, big walls, barbed wire fences.
Yeah. Yeah, to keep the kids in, protect
That's
them.
it, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you
That
say
kind-
that though. It's school's not far from Ibrox Stadium, so it's like it's not far from the truth. To be honest.
It can't be bad for him though to learn to be going to a Gaelic school though. It's learning language supposedly makes your brain better for other sorts of things.
Why is Ollie laughing?
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
I think all it does is make him resented when he has to speak. He absolutely point blank refuses to do Gaelic outside of school.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shame. I remember at school you get made to read books and you thought you hated the books because you're made to read them, and then afterwards you thought, this book's cracking.
Well, the wee man's crack. He went through all 7 Harry Potter books, and he would never pick up a book before that. Like he would pick up a book and read it, but he picked up the Harry Potters and he went through all 7 I think it was under 4 weeks. Just like
That's incredible.
and some of them are really quite.
Yeah.
And then he's like, right, Dad, you have to read them, because I want to watch the films, and we can't watch them until you've read the book. So
Stephen Fry does a really good narration of them, and it's the whole thing, so you wouldn't miss out anything. Welcome back.
Well, I've already gone. I'm halfway through the 5th one, so
They're okay. I listened to the audiobooks. They're okay. There's nothing wrong with them. They're
Surface is
just
behaving very poorly at the moment, so I'm not sure if I'm going to.
You look like you've had a nice evening, Andrew.
A civilized evening.
Yes.
someone's just put an image. Pilix just put an image
I think Mike
in our MC admin chat of it.
You'll notice that my daughter's playing on the PC, so
And it's
well,
it's this weird looking PCB. It's a it's a black fiberglass PCB with clear solder mask on it, and it looks amazing. So you can see all the copper coloured traces. It looks amazing. He says it's really expensive, but I've never seen anything like it. I want all our PCBs to do that way now, which won't happen because it's stupid. But,
Right, guys. I think it's time for a Stephen story, because I don't think I've got enough. I haven't got a whole lot of miles left in me. What do we? Have you got something to take us out? You're on the spot. Have to finish on a story. You've always got a story, Stephen. Everybody's like, this is it. No, he's not. He's
Have I got a story? Jen, have I got a story? What have they no heard?
Hang on, I'll just check the celebrity obituaries for this week.
yeah.
Let's see who you talk to.
Have you spoken to Hugh Jones?
oh god, that's awful. That whole thing.
Yeah, and it turns. The more I read about it, the more it looks as if it shouldn't be in the news at all. It's just
No,
a
absolutely
horrible thing.
It's absolutely shocking that I mean, we discussed this earlier on. It's a controversial subject, but I think the issue here is that there's no criminality, and what it boils down to is what he did morally right or wrong. But at the end of the day, does anyone have a right or even any business knowing about it?
No,
It's
it's not. Yeah,
And it wasn't something to do with the workplace either. Yeah, if it did happen,
was
like
just
Philip they got rid of Philip Schofield that way. They've got a list of them. They're going to take them down one after the other. Philip Schofield at least was a workplace thing, so they have a bit of a thing going on there. But
it was, and I think he'd known but he'd known the boy since before he was old enough. That's the thing. There was questions about whether there was.
Well, he'd been in the same place as him, but did he actually know? He might have known the boy. But it's just a nasty. It's a nasty. Let's take someone down because they're famous thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So why did you do it, Stephen?
Apparently, he'd heard he was a bell end.
No, I'll tell you. I'm actually going to head just shortly anyway, because I'm away tomorrow on holiday. So
you said
I'll tell you this one because
you only stay for 6 hours. You know.
No, only if I fall asleep. No, I'll tell you this one because it came up on my Facebook. You know, that history kind of memories thing. It tells you when you post something up, it shows you like stuff that happened a year ago and 2 years ago and 3 years ago. So for a good year, I'd been getting these Royal Mail delivery messages, obviously for somebody else, and I get fed up with them. Every other day, you know, you've this parcel's being delivered on this day, you know, and this one day I broke. I'd had enough, and I get this text. Your parcel is due to be delivered today by Sharon from Parcel Force. It should be with you between like 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. What do you want to do? You can get it delivered to a neighbour, you can get it re-delivered somewhere else, you can get it re-delivered at another time. I thought, you know what? I don't care who this is going to. I'm going to just mildly inconvenience them. So I get it. I pressed option 4 for 2 working days delivery. So this was on like the Wednesday, and pressed option 4 and sent it away, and it came back saying, "Thank you, your parcel's been rescheduled." And I thought, yep, whoever that is going to be really pissed off that their parcel's not getting delivered to Friday. It turned out it was wallpaper that Jen had ordered. And it was the wallpaper that we were waiting on to finish decorating our room. We'd spent the entire summer decorating our bedroom, and we needed a roll of wallpaper. We needed a roll of anaglypta wallpaper to patch in a bit of the ceiling with the same paper. And that was the one bit that was needing finished, and I had delayed it by 2 days because I was a dick.
Brilliant.
Were you the one that was annoyed most, or was it Jen that was the one that was annoyed most?
Yeah,
No, Jen
lost
could
her
have
shit.
gone, yeah.
Jen's a primary school teacher, and she came out with some words that I didn't know primary school teachers knew. Although in saying that, working in Ayrshire, I'm pretty sure the kids have said worse.
Yeah. So you were getting all these ones that weren't for you, and the one you decided to kick back on was your own.
It was mine. It was my own parcel. Yeah.
Brilliant.
How did you get it to stop in the end? Did you change your phone number or something?
No, I just started blocking these messages. I've never had a parcel since.
You're obviously in somebody's browser cache, you know.
I know. My friend Chris, he keeps getting emails from Walmart. Now, Chris lives in Paisley, and we don't have Walmart in Paisley. And it's some woman with a very
running
similar
water
name.
or electricity.
Sorry?
Or electricity or running water.
He keeps getting these messages. She's obviously ordered stuff, but she keeps using his email address. So he can actually go in and reset the password for the account because it's linked to his. So he can get in and see the complete order history, and he's tried to get in contact with the person. But every now and again he gets another email. Your order has been dispatched. He's like, yeah.
I'm in entirely the same boat. I got in early because I got in on the Gmail beta. So my email address is my name @gmail.com, and every other person called Graham Thompson in the world has decided that is probably their email address as well. I've been invited to meals at a university in Canada. I kicked back on that one and emailed them, went, look, please stop emailing them. Sarah, we're really sorry about that. If you're ever in Canada in October, just come along to the meal and tell them the story, and we'll make sure there's a seat for you at the table. I'm like, right, that's great. I find out all about my child in Australia who's at school. I get all the school reports for that. I don't have a child in Australia. I've tried to kick back on that, but nothing. I'm finding out about their mortgage as well. I keep getting told when their mortgage rate changes, whoever this Australian person is. And there's a Graham Thompson in Glasgow who keeps booking into hotels, booking flights, and buying things at charity shops. Wiggle, the bike shop online, and I get all of his emails, and I was ignoring them, and I tried emailing to try and get hold of him, got nowhere. Eventually, I've just started going into all of the accounts and changing the password. So every time now I get an email through, I'm just like, right, let's try this, login, reset password, set it to something else, and back out again, and just left it at that. So he's basically locked out of accounts he set up at various shops now because he won't leave me alone. I've never cancelled anything.
Do you not get the password reset emails coming through?
Oddly, no. It's almost like they realise they've made a mistake and give up at that point, which is very strange.
Or maybe try to reset the password when he's typing his right email address at saying
It could well be, because it did seem to calm down after that. I'm trying to think, is there anything I've done? I cancelled an appointment with a therapist for him as well, because I got an email through.
In theory, my parcel redelivery is mildly inconveniencing myself is probably tame in comparison to you rescheduling and cancelling appointments.
So he cancelled his therapy appointment, then you never heard any more from him.
No, I could tell you a lot, really, that, couldn't it? Hang on,
terrible.
let's see. Let's find out exactly what I cancelled, because I think it was nonsense anyway. That's a glass replacement appointment. That's for a car. That's not it. Have I deleted the email? I may have deleted the email. I don't think I have it anymore.
Just to cover up the evidence.
Yeah, don't want anyone to know.
A bit like Stephen and Jim Bowen.
Oh. Well, so just another story. I used to go to a computer shop in Salkits.
That was your first mistake.
the guy that ran it was a bit dodgy, and anyone that's from Ayrshire that is in that area will know the computer shop I'm talking about. I won't name it, but anyway, they'll know who it is. And you went in, and he had
when we say dodgy, do you mean selling pirate stuff, or
yes,
right?
Yeah, it was basically like a forerunner to the Jolly Roger in Kelvin. So is it Kelvin Grove? So you used to go in, and he had a PC sitting. You went in, and it was this kind of long, narrow shop, and he had a computer sitting at the door, and you went in and you would say to him, any new discs? And he would turn the monitor round, and he'd turn the keyboard round. And it was, you know when you bought like a Dragon disc or a Voodoo disc back in the 90s? You get a text file and it just showed you. Not that I'm, condoning piracy.
Someone's told you this, yeah. Not seen it
yourself.
yourself.
I mean, I heard through, it was Jim Bowen that told me. Here's what you could have paid for.
Very good.
So anyway, where was I going with this story? Oh, aye.
Nobody knows. Oh, you do.
So he had this long list, and every time you went in, the list just got extended and extended because he just copied the text file from the CD and added it on at the end. And it got that long, I'm like, can I get a copy of this list on a disc? And he'd be like, aye, give me a disc. So I'd take a floppy disk in, and he would write, I've password protected this. And the password to the file is Myra, M-Y-R-A. I don't know whether it was his dog's name, his wife's name, his girlfriend, I don't know, right? Anyway, it was the same password. He always used Myra, M-Y-R-A. And he totally pissed me off one day, right? He just became a bit of an arse. And he mentioned this name. I wonder if he uses that for his password for his Hotmail, because his shop email address was a Hotmail address. And this was back before there was.
Can I just, as your lawyer,
passwords actually were passwords, aye.
Yeah.
Can I just, as your lawyer, say that you're probably admitting to committing a crime at this point?
This is a long time ago.
Hotmail doesn't exist anymore. It's fine.
No. And I thought, right, I'm going to try this. So I tried to log into his email account, and I get in with Myra as the password. And I thought, right, I'm gonna fuck with this guy. So I changed his password to something else, and I thought I'll leave it a few days, and I'll change it back. Except I couldn't change it back because they had changed the algorithm, and the minimum for passwords it had to be 6 characters.
It could never be Myra again.
Back to Myra, and I couldn't phone him and say, by the way,
your password's now Myra Hindley. Yeah.
I did change it to Bobag, and then left it and sent him a letter, snail mail.
They sent him an email telling him that his email address that you've just changed the password.
So he was
the amount of times somebody says I've you phoned someone that someone's left their phone here. Can you let them know that your name's on the list? Can you let them know they've left their phone? And seconds later, you get a text message through. You've left your phone there.
Aye.
I don't know.
But anyway, the email never had anything kind of suspect in it. But I was just mucking with the guy. He ended up, he got raided by Trading Standards, and they found like hundreds of copies of like Shrek 2. You know, like that's when it was on
It was
video
listed as a
CD.
£10 million haul. Yeah,
Yeah, not quite. Shop and sockets.
yeah.
And they ended up, he got the jail. He got the jail for that. But yeah,
Wow.
I like to think that I maybe helped his downfall by changing his email password that day, because he was the guy was a bit of a dick,
Oh
to put
well.
it mildly. And on that note, I think it's time Jen's sitting here. She's like patiently. We're trying to get packed up to go away tomorrow, so.
You've scared Dave off anyway, so.
Are you calling it a night there? Yeah.
I think so. We've been on. We're 2.5 hours, and I mean it's going to take some beating the 15 hours that Edwin
Legend.
held up the stream for 7 hours all by himself. So
We should put the photograph of Edwin up.
Just leave it running.
Just leave it running.
My cat stood in the power button. What was the end there after he said he get raided? My cat stood in the power
he
button.
got the jail.
Apparently, he met Jim Bowen. And,
I mind when Edwin fell asleep. I think someone mentioned that because there was so little movement, the camera had effectively gone still.
Yeah.
And we were like, I can't see him breathing. You can hear him snoring, but you can't see him breathing. It was really, really quite concerning. And we were shouting like, Edwin, wake up! You know, and he was just like this.
Yeah, we did make best efforts to wake him up, but he wasn't for having it.
to. Yeah.
He was obviously knackered.
I heard that he chilled out a little bit. He was.
I spoke to him about it, and honestly, I think he thought we were doing it to be cruel to him, and obviously there's a tiny bit of cruelty in it, but it's more. It was just a bit of fun. It was no malice intended. I think once he really believed that we didn't have any, there was no malicious intent. We thought it was just a bit of fun. We didn't mean to do anything to hurt his feelings. I think he was okay with it then.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if I was him, I'd have owned it. To be honest, I'd have got T-shirts of me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean,
it's harmless, and if you did that in real life and you fell asleep on the couch, you'd wake up with a knob on your forehead and a mustache. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. At least there's no shark.
A drawn-on knob.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Dave and I were saying in the morning afterward. All this, if that had really done that on the couch here or something, he'd been shaving off his other eye.
To match up. Yeah. Although I wouldn't do that to somebody now. I would do that to somebody 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But these days, I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't do that.
Yeah. No, it would be the boot. It would be the boot polish. The nun outfit. something
Well, a nun
like
outfit
that.
for Rob, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Rob.
A nunnery member.
Yeah.
He said he's an honorary. He said because he was talking about being from Sausage. He was saying I'm Irish, but I'm an honorary Scotsman, and YouTube subtitles picked it up as I'm a nunnery.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rob. I'm Irish. I'm a nunnery.
The thing is, Rob is our leader. He's he runs the Scottish Amiga user group.
He's the brains of the operation.
Yes. Yeah.
Every time I was doing a search and to try and find out something about what I was doing with this keyboard, every search I did would come up with his name.
Yep.
He was everywhere.
He does that to himself, though. He actually searches. He forgets things, searches them, and then realizes he's answered his own question, but 10 years ago. It's must be a weird place to be honest. Your memory is the internet. Oh, good.
Well, yeah. Well, in Johnny's case, it probably literally is. You know?
Well, there's that, yeah.
Is it an actual group or a club or something like that? The Scottish user
It's
Amiga
a
group.
collection
or-
of very drunk men.
I was going to say, is it just a matter of knowing one or two of you? And
Pretty
that's it.
much, yeah.
yeah,
There's a kitty, isn't there? Stephen.
There is a kitty.
Okay.
There's no official membership list of any
I'm
kind.
waiting on the day. I'm waiting on the day I walk into, I don't know, the Kyle in Edinburgh shopping centre and bump into somebody else with a Scottish Amiga users group. Is it the Kyle
happened?
shopping centre?
What
Yeah,
was the
the guy,
story
yeah.
with what was the story with Adrian then? Did you sell him a T-shirt or did he?
He actually held Stephen down and ripped his off him. No, he didn't.
Adrian.
At all.
I've
He must
sold
have
so
ordered-
many. I've
He
sold so
ordered that
many.
before going down.
Uh,
Yeah.
He- and without even talking to him, he somehow knew that purple was Saturday and black was Sunday.
but,
Yep.
but Johnny didn't.
No,
Yeah,
Johnny
Johnny was
decided
just
to.
Johnny.
Johnny just got it the wrong way around. It looked really funny because there's some pictures of you guys. Just for those who, you guys obviously know, but there's a bunch of pictures of you, and you're all in purple, and Johnny's in black. And then the next day it's the other way around. That's great.
Yeah, he was not with the program.
Right, folks.
Yep.
I think we're going to call it a night. Thanks everyone for watching. Yeah. Thanks.
that's
Um,
it.
I'm glad I
that
got on
it?
for 5-10 minutes.
That's it. Yeah.
God,
That's it.
jeez.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
it's
do whatever
all
you
you.
want now, Ollie. You're free. You're free
I know,
from the
but, like,
chains of video chat.
Kent's does a 10-hour mass on a Thursday.
It's a bloody good mass.
Well, our star striker's going on holiday tomorrow, so yeah.
All right.
Enjoy your holiday.
Yeah, have fun. The midges apparently have not been too bad yet, but they're picking up. So
Yeah,
you've
well-
got that to look forward
Where are
to.
you going again? Soul Coats or something?
Zolkits, yeah. Zolkits.
Skin flats.
Talking of midges, my nephew, years ago,
Here comes a story.
I said to my nephew, my nephew's very easily influenced. I just tell him a load of shit. I says, Lewis, I think he was about 5 at the time. I says, Lewis, do you know how, like, budgie is short for budgerigar? Do you know that midgie
I can see where this is going.
is short for midgerigar? You know, he told his teacher that, and the teacher said, Lewis, I think your Uncle Stephen is talking shit. Anyway, on that bombshell,
Yes.
Right. Good night, everybody.
Folks.
Take care.
Night.
Everyone.
Cheers. See you later.
Bye.